Aloha and welcome once again, interdimensional, intergalactic friends. My name is Brendan, aka Wolf Shield, Mystic Spider-Man, Skull Babylon, welcoming you to another live broadcast presented on behalf of Paradigm Shift Central, a portal for inspirational creators and leaders, shifters, people who are actively helping assist with the shift in consciousness. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Happy full moon. Let's start it off with a wolf howl for everybody who's tuned in right now. Thank you to those of you who are tuned in on YouTube, for those of you who are tuned in on Facebook, wherever you happen to be tuned into this broadcast at this moment. Thank you so much for being here. We're going to set things up over the next couple moments to be able to give people an opportunity to be able to get situated. And also, we're going to do something a little bit different. We're inviting people to be able to join on air with purely just the video aspect, to be able to just kind of show like a collage of all the awesome people who are tuned in to this broadcast. So for those of you who are listening to this live in this moment, and if you would like to be able to just like bring your face into the circle of what it is that we are doing here, then go ahead, click the link on Zoom. When you join, it will literally just be video. There's no audio. And once we have a few people all set up there, we're going to at least kind of show like a before the meditation begins, and then afterwards, if we have more people joined in, we'll show like an after group. And just again, just be able to do a little bit of an experiment here, but to be able to help collectively bring people into this digital circle, this sacred digital space. And so for those of you who may be here for the first time, this is again once again another global full moon meditation broadcast that we are doing here through the project. We've done plenty of these over the years, and again, I'm really excited to be able to have people here tonight. Tonight's going to be a little bit different. So with everything that's been going on in the world and everything like that, things are undeniably pretty busy. But even though we wanted to be able to do a full moon meditation tonight, I didn't necessarily have like the full like available like time and energy to plan out something that would be as epic as I normally would. But what we are going to do, we are still going to deliver something incredibly epic by being able to share with you one of the pre-recorded broadcasts that we have done from the past of a global meditation that I guarantee the majority of the people here have not heard yet. So in that sense, if you are tuned in, it's still going to be an experience of connection. It's still going to be an experience of synergy. It's still going to be an experience of community. And what I like about this idea is that, first of all, the story that we are telling, it's one of the best meditations that I've done over the years. The production value of it is just like really top notch, and you'll get to experience this, and like the audio mixing is already like mastered and things like that. So if I was just doing it purely live, the audio is sometimes a little bit more challenging. But this time, what's actually beneficial is that now, instead of just being kind of the production behind the scenes, clicking all the buttons, I get to join in the actual like full-on meditation. So I'm going to be right there sitting with you, listening to this meditation, imagining as if, you know, like I'm listening to someone other than myself as we get to experience this meditation together. And so for those of you who may be new to this, the meditations that we do are a little bit different than most meditations and perhaps you have experienced before. And so with these meditations, this is very much like a story. This is a story-oriented meditation that we are doing here. So you can think of it almost like a first-person waking dream. And we've done plenty of these over the years. We've been practicing these going back to like 2014, 2015. So it's been really exciting, especially with where we are now, to see this resurgence of the sacred digital space in a very prominent way throughout our communities, throughout many communities. So I'm fortunate that here within Paradigm Shift Central, we've been doing this for quite a while, and now here we are again, just a part of a bigger collective of stories of people who are coming together and who are utilizing the sacred digital space to be able to connect and support each other as communities. So with that said, I just want to be able to again invite people to get comfortable as we get ready to move into the meditation. We'll bring up the people on the camera in the next couple moments. I want to just be able to give another couple minutes to be able to invite people to join on air. So I'm just going to post a link into the YouTube chat, and I'll post a link also into the Facebook chat. So again, this is an opportunity. If you want, you're welcome to just listen on Facebook. But if you would like to like visually be present on screen, and I'll show you what I'm talking about in a second, then go ahead and join the Zoom call. It's literally just going to be audio. Maybe later on in the second half, I might unmute it just so we can make some like collective wolf howls together and everything like that. It won't be full on conversation for this broadcast. We do have another broadcast on Thursday that will be our synergy circle, which will be more of a conversation, and we'll get into that a little bit later in the week. But again, for this one, if you would like to experience this like kind of in that feeling of the Zoom circle, or if you'd like to listen to it through the Facebook, through the YouTube, whatever works for you. For those of you on Instagram, click the link in my bio to tune in on YouTube. The Instagram feed is going to shut down in a minute, that way so you can actually listen to it properly. So if you're tuned in on Instagram, click the link in my bio to be able to join in there. And for those of you on YouTube, the link to join the Zoom is in the top of the video description, so you can find it there, or you can find it in the comments. So we're doing a little bit something different. This is a little bit something different that I'm excited to be able to play around with, to experiment with. So with that said, the meditation that we are going to get into, as I'm just going to explain it to you very briefly, and as I'm doing this, just inviting everyone to start getting comfortable. Start inviting yourself to just be able to relax, get some pillows set up, find a nice place where you'll be able to sit. This meditation, again, it's almost going to be like kind of your own personal movie, your own personal waking dream. So it's over an hour long, but don't let the time kind of freak you out or anything like that. I assure you it will fly by. And so when we do these meditations, the way how we do them is that we invite us to be able to bring ourselves into this place of stillness. And when we're in this place of stillness, we allow ourselves to focus on our imagination. And when we're focusing on cultivating the textures, the details of our imaginations, it brings about this idea of these experiences becoming visceral and becoming something that can move us, something that can transform us, something that can heal us. So the intention for this meditation is one that is going to be very love-centered, very healing, both for ourselves and for the collective. And in a lot of ways, even though this recording that we're going to be playing, it was originally recorded for the full moon on November 11th, but in a lot of ways, I feel it's very fitting to be able to share it now. I think in some ways, like even though it was recorded then, to be able to share it now with a whole new wave of people who have probably not heard it yet is going to be very, very important. So again, kind of thinking this was filmed like before, you know, the way back in the day and everything like that. And yet, how does this serve us today? So the one thing I will say is that for those of you who are here, for those of you who are tuning into the meditation, for those of you who are listening to this, I want you to be able to move into it with the openness that there may be moments in this meditation where you may cry. There may be moments in this meditation where you may feel like emotions well up. And I want you to be able to honor that. I want you to be able to acknowledge that. I want you to be able to hold space for that as we are holding space for you. And it's okay to cry. And those tears are very important. So just giving you a heads up on that, because there are parts in this meditation that are emotional, that are quite personal. And this is going to be a unique meditation for each and every single one of you. Each person is going to have a different experience with this meditation. And I'll hype it up for you because later on in the meditation, it gets pretty dope. Like the whole thing's dope, but later on in the meditation, it really focuses on like global healing energy. So stay tuned for that. So that's going to be another part of the meditation that you'll get to experience. So again, I'm going to bring the people on in Zoom. So for those of you on Zoom, if everybody wants to switch on their camera, if you're just joining on Zoom, again, if you're not using your camera, for those of you listening on YouTube who are thinking about joining, if you're not using your camera on Zoom, just listen through YouTube. That's totally fine. Zoom is more literally just so we can see the faces, the community. I want to see all your smiling faces. And then you guys can turn off your cameras manually as we get through the meditation. The Zoom video, you guys won't be on the broadcast, like other than just kind of the beginning and the end. So don't worry about people looking at you while meditating. I want you guys to turn off your cameras, and then we'll come back a little bit later in the broadcast. So again, we're kind of doing something a little bit different, but again, I just love the idea of being able to show the faces of the people worldwide. So all right, so with that said, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that right now. I'm gonna bring up the faces of all the people who are tuned in right now, who are with us here on this broadcast. So give me 2 seconds here. I just need to be able to click things and get it all set up. All right, okay, cool. So we currently got 6 people in the chat. So I'm just gonna bring them up onto the screen right now so everybody on the internet can see them. So you guys are live on the internet. So go ahead, just wave to everybody and be like, yeah, we love you too. Woo, woo, woo. So there we go. So we got 6 people who are tuned into the Zoom call right now. We've got a bunch more people who are just like tuned in. And so again, if you feel called where you want to be able to like join and show your face on air and to be able to be visually a part of the circle that we're creating, that we're holding space for, then please, by all means, you can join the Zoom link as we go through the broadcast. And yeah, you guys, like, you waving at people right now is like, you guys, like, they're seeing you, like they are seeing you. So like send vibes, send like mudras, like happy faces, whatever you guys want to do. And later on in the broadcast, I'll practice doing like an unmute, and we can all like practice doing some wolf howls and everything like that. So with that said, I'm gonna just again prompt things and set things up and get things all situated. So for those of you who are here, again, I just want to be able to invite you to get nice and comfortable, begin setting your space. And as we do this meditation, I want you to be able to be open to the idea of being able to feel energy activation, like energy activation up the spine, through the process of breathing, through the process of just being present in this practice. There are going to be moments in this meditation in correlation with the music and everything like that, where you're going to feel like this like very kind of like activating sensation. And so again, the story, the mythos that we are holding space for within the Paradigm Shift Central project is the story of a collective team of light guardians, of shifters, of people who are coming together to help change the world. So this meditation, by listening to this meditation, it is there to kind of like nurture that seed inside of you. So I think there's a couple references in the meditation that kind of refer to like 1111 stuff, because that's when it was done. But nonetheless, like, we'll be like, everything's like time travel, right? We're all time traveling wizards. So whatever's in the past is also in the future, and now we can full time in on itself. So, all right, okay. So let's just get one more on screen of all the people who are joined in. So for everybody here, just send your good vibes. Say hello to all the people who are tuned in right now. We love you, team. Woo! All right, send those blessings. And then for everybody here, we're going to get ready to move into that next stage of the meditation. So we're going to switch off the cameras there, and then I am going to bring on just like the Paradigm Shift Sigil logo, and we're going to make a nice smooth transition into the meditation. And again, so you'll be hearing my voice. It's a recording of my voice, but it's still equally present. And if you haven't heard this before, then just like allow yourself to know that everyone else is listening to this. And the benefit of this is that it allows me to like also be in that fully meditative state with you. So I'll be like adding all my energy there right alongside you. So again, for those of you on Instagram, click the link in my bio to tune in on YouTube, and we're shutting down the Instagram feed now. And for everybody on the Zoom call, if you guys want to turn off your cameras, you can do that. You can turn them on a little bit later, and I'll set things up so you'll still hear the full audio through Zoom as well. So beautiful. All right. So with that said, thank you again, everyone, for being here. Thank you to our Patreon supporters. After this broadcast, if you want to check out more of the Paradigm Shift Central project, please feel free to do that. You can also support on Patreon, connect on Instagram. All the links are in the YouTube info. And yeah, this is just another step in a much bigger story. So thank you again, everyone, for being here. All right. So with that said, we're going to switch over the graphic to the Paradigm Shift Sigil, and we are going to begin the audio for the global meditation. So happy full moon, everyone. Let's use this time to connect this community. Let's use this time to go inwards, and let's use this time to expand outwards. So with that said, from here on forward, what you will hear until the end of the meditation will be the recording, and then we'll come back at the end. We'll come on screen again, so if you guys want to join Zoom in the meantime. And yeah, and then we'll go from there. All right, much love. Thank you again, everyone. Here we go. My name is Brendan, Wolf Shield, Mystic Spider-Man, Skull Babylon. It is an honor for me to be able to be here holding space with you as a team, as a community. The intention of this broadcast is to be able to connect, allow us space to connect with our hearts, to practice flexing our imagination, to be able to feel the call, to hear the call, to inspire us to show up in the best way we can moving forward as we continue to help assist with the shift in consciousness, as shifters, as light workers, as light guardians. And so with that said, if you haven't already yet, I invite you to gently close your eyes. Allow yourself to get nice and comfortable. If you haven't already, just even put down your laptop screen, keep the audio on, reduce the lights in your room, get off the chat, get nice and comfortable, and give yourself permission to be here now. We'll begin together gently by connecting with the breath. Gentle inhales through the nose. Gentle exhales through the nose and the mouth. Continuing to breathe, inhales and exhales. And as you continue to breathe, just be aware of that moment when the inhale meets the exhale. We're going to begin scanning our body. We're going to give our body permission to gently relax so that we can move ourselves into this very sacred space of stillness. I want you to imagine almost a white, misty cloud of light at the bottom of your feet. And this cloud of energy is slowly going to rise up through your body as we scan it together. And as it does, everything that it comes in contact with will gently relax within your body. So as we continue to breathe here, just straighten up your spine just a little bit, as if someone's just pulling a string from the top of your head. Put your hands nice and comfortable where you need them. Bring awareness to your toes, to your feet, and feeling this white light filling up your toes and your feet. And gently allowing your toes and your feet to relax. From here, moving this white light, this warm, relaxing white light, all the way up your shins, your knees. As you do this, gently allowing your shins and your knees to relax. Moving this white light further up your thighs, your hips, your groin area, allowing your thighs, your hips, and your groin to relax. As we relax the body, we begin to prepare ourselves to turn our attention inwards towards the realms of our imagination. Continuing to move this white light up through your torso, through your solar, your sacral, up into your chest. Again, just allow your torso, your solar, your sacral, your chest to gently relax. Moving this energy so it moves through your arms, your shoulders, your biceps, your elbows. Allowing your shoulders, your arms, your biceps, your elbows to gently relax. Continuing to move this energy through your forearms, your wrists, your fingertips. Allowing your forearms, your wrists, your fingertips to gently relax. Good, perfect. Moving this energy up through the neck, feeling it move up through the back of the neck. Feeling it moving up through the jaw. Feel it move through your tongue, gently allowing your tongue to relax. If you wish, you can gently release the tongue from the top of your mouth or keep it there, whatever you prefer. And gently allowing your neck, your jaw, your tongue, your mouth to relax. Perfect. From here, gently moving your awareness up through your cheeks, through your nose, your eyes, your eyebrows, your ears. Gently allowing your cheeks, your nose, your eyebrows, your ears to relax. Release any tension in your forehead and your eyes. Relax your ears. Can you relax your ears right now? Give it a shot. See what that feels like. Relax your ears. Your ears are so tense. Just let them relax. And add a gentle smile if you wish, reminding yourself that you are here to experience, to be open. It's a beautiful thing to be here together. Bring this white light all the way up through the rest of your body into the top of your head and your entire body. So bringing a relaxing sensation to the top of your head and your entire body. Beautiful. Wonderful. Continue to breathe here and just observe, what does the body feel like right now? Observe how different it may feel from what it did even just a few moments ago. Perfect. Keeping an awareness on your breath, being mindful of it without needing to consciously control it. The breath will do as it needs. Gentle inhales, gentle exhales. And as we breathe here, we allow ourselves to begin our journey inward, to be able to be open to this story. And so this story begins by us gently, slowly turning our focus inwards and using our imagination. As you imagine yourself standing at the edge of a beach near the water, as the sun slowly begins to set. And so, as you stand here looking at the setting sun, begin connecting with all of your senses within your imagination to the best of your ability. What does the sand feel like underneath your toes? What does the sun feel like on your skin? What does the air feel like? Can you feel it on the arm, on the hairs of your arms? Can you feel it on your legs? Can you feel the wind on the back of your ears? Listen, bring in your awareness to the sounds you can hear. Do you hear the water? Can you hear it gently rolling? The intention here is to bring as much realness to your senses as you can right now. Feel the sand underneath your toes as if you are there right now. Feel the warmth of the sun on your skins as if you are there right now. And as you look into the sun, connect deeply with your breath as you see the reflection of it shining back at you. As you gaze into the sun gently, you feel its energy moving through your eyes, down into your heart, through your very breath. And continue to be here, just enjoying this moment, simply having gratitude, simply holding the presence of this moment in your heart with deep gratitude. Feel the joy of this moment. Allow it to bring you into the realness of this world. Look at the water. And as you look at the water, if you haven't already yet, slowly begin to walk towards it. Put your feet right at the edge as you wait for the water to roll back gently over the top of your feet. And pay attention to that exact moment when the water gently rolls over your feet and that cooling energy moves through your entire body, maybe even just sending a slight tingle up your spine. And as you stand here in the water, feeling the air, seeing the sun, feeling its warmth, bringing a smile to your face, look deeply and just be in awe of this moment. And so, as you stand here, looking out at this beautiful sunset, you feel a presence standing next to you, and a voice speaks to you, and the voice says to you, "It's beautiful, isn't it? There's nothing quite like a sunset. It's one of my favorite things." And to your left, you look, and you see a young child, about up to the size of your waist. And this child stands there next to you, enjoying the beauty of the sunset. Well, my friend, what brings you here? Is there something that I can show you? Something beyond the sunset? And you say to the child, "I am here. I am open. What is there that you can show me?" And this child smiles and says to you, "Absolutely. I was hoping you would say that. You see, this world, it's not what a lot of people think it is. There's a magic to it that is ever present. Yet sometimes people don't see it until they're taught how to see it for themselves." And so you stand there with this child, and the child says to you, "You know, if you want, I can show you. I can take you through this world. I can allow you to see things that you have forgotten, connect with things you never knew you were connected with, to allow you to be open to experiencing more of the magic that is all around us." You smile at the offer, and you say to the child, "You seem very wise. This reality, I'm curious to know what you know about it. I'm curious to see what you can teach me about it. What is this reality to you?" "Well," says the child, "this reality is my creation." "This reality is your creation?" "Well, as much as it is yours, too." "So what are you saying? Are you God?" The child laughs. "You could say that. But for now, just think of me as a guide. And so with your permission, would you like to go on a journey together? Would you like me to show you more of what there is to see?" You take a moment here to breathe into your heart. And with your heart, you choose, in your own free will, to give this child permission. And this child, they will appear as you choose to see them in this moment. They may look like someone familiar. They may look like no one in particular. Yet their presence is comforting. Their soul is wise. And so as you look at the sun together, it slowly begins to set beyond the horizon line and deeply into the water, reflecting back on the surface. The child says to you, "Let me know when you are ready. Take a few more breaths. And once you have done that, we can close our eyes together. And I will take you back. I will show you the beginning. The beginning, you think. Open to what the child has to show you. And so after you take a few more moments to breathe in the sunset, give yourself the permission to gently close your eyes. And so, where there was once sunset, now, as you imagine yourself gently closing your eyelids, within your own imagination, the sunset still shines through your eyelids, and there is a warmth that is felt. Even though you cannot see the sun, you can still feel it. A remnant of it, seen as a soft color of a dark red or a dark orange. In this moment, you feel as if you were no longer where you once were. You are no longer on the beach. You are somewhere else now. Somewhere that this child has helped guide you to. This space, you think to yourself, it's so comfortable. It feels so warm, so loving, so familiar. Where are we right now? You think to yourself. And even though you do not see the child, their presence is still with you. Their voice is still in your heart. You know where we are right now. It's a place we've all been. Think, feel, listen to your heart. Right now, as you feel as if you're floating in an infinite sea of vast blackness, yet infinite warmth, like a hug that you're receiving from the universe, curled up in a tremendous overflow of just an abundance of love, an abundance of motherly love. I know where I am right now, you think to yourself. Of course. Well, do you want to tell me where you think you are? I'm back inside the womb, aren't I? That's right. Do you feel it? Do you feel the familiarity of this? The wholeness? This is what I want you to pay attention to. I want you to be in this moment. And I want you to bring as much gratitude into your heart. I want you to deeply feel the connection that you share with the mother, with your mother, with our mother. And so in this moment, breathe into your heart, breathe deeply, breathe with love, breathe with peace. And even though in your vision right now, there is still just a warmth, red orangeness, perhaps there is still an abundance of colors that come through your imagination in correlation to the emotions that are brought forth during your time in this space. And so as you are here in this space, give yourself an opportunity to connect back on when you were there. See this as a form of folding time in on itself. And send love to yourself while you were still in the womb. And remind yourself of how infinitely loved you are and you continue to be. Well, I hate to tell you this, as comfortable this place is, no one can stay here forever. What do you mean? You say to the child. They explain to you. There's something very important. I want you to be able to learn this through the story, through this journey that we are on together. This life, the one that we share, many people might think of it linearly, from A to B to C to D. But there's another way to see this life, to measure this so-called time. There are periods in which we are in states of wholeness and states in which we are in the illusion of separateness. I'm not quite sure if I fully understand, you say to the child. You will. You will. And then just like that, suddenly the space begins to shift. A feeling of contraction begins to move through your body. You can feel a gravitational pull moving you. And where there was once darkness, you now see a pinprick of light emanating in the distance as you feel it pulling towards you, as you feel like you're swimming towards it. And this light slowly becomes brighter and brighter and brighter. And now it fills your vision. And as you move through this white light, you feel a wave of energy moving through your body. You feel an immense surge of love moving through your heart. And filled in this vast sea of whiteness, you can hear a voice. It is not the voice of the child. It is the voice of a woman, of the mother, of your mother. And suddenly, where there was once whiteness, there are now shapes, abstract, blurry shapes. And yet, in the coolness of the space, as you feel as if someone just dumped an ice bucket on you, you feel touch, sensation. You feel your mother holding you in this moment, holding you to her breast, wrapping you in her arms. And with the little eyes that you have, you can imagine to the best of your ability looking up in this moment and seeing this moment through the eyes of yourself as a child, going back to when it began. And as you do this, you give yourself permission to encode it with love, to encode it with gratitude, to say something to your mother in this moment that maybe you felt like you never said, yet perhaps you always did. And so, as you feel the same type of warmth that you felt when you were in the womb now being held by your mother, you hear the voice of the child once again. You see, my friend, the only way for us to truly understand what we are
to understand who we are is that we must separate ourselves from ourselves. The child within the womb does not know the mother. It is only by leaving the womb, by becoming separate, and then by being the gift of being able to look back and see, do we see where we came from? Do we see who we are? Wholeness to separateness to wholeness, again and again. I think I'm beginning to understand now, you say to the child. Well, take another moment here. Say what you need to your mother. Say what you need to yourself. Be in this moment. Look back on it through the time-traveling ability of your heart. Encode it with love, knowing that you always did. And so you take a few more breaths here, just enjoying this moment, knowing that it too is something that you can return back to at your own time, at your own wish. And as you breathe here, you can even smell the sense of your mother. You can feel the sense of her love. And you express your gratitude for her, for yourself, for the gift of this moment. When you're ready, the child says, let's go a little bit further. And there's more that we want to be able to show you. And so as you take another look at your mother, you see her eyes and you eye gaze with them. You feel the love. And in this moment, listen closely. There is something your mother has to say for you, has to say to you. Breathe here. And I'm just going to allow you to be in this space for just a few more moments, a few more breaths, and I want you to listen. I want you to hear what your mother has to say to you in this moment, and let it be heard deeply by your heart. Let it be what you need to hear in this moment. So just continue to breathe here. Be in the privacy of this moment with yourself, with the mother, and in a few moments we'll come back and we'll continue. So breathe here gently and listen. Be open. Listen with your heart. What does your mother have to say to you? Take a few more moments here. Let's continue to breathe. Feeling the gift of this moment. The child speaks to you. Let me know when you are ready, and we will continue along. There's still much more that I'd like for you to be able to see. There's a reason why I met up with you. It was no accident that we were both here at the same time. I'm glad that we were able to meet I'm glad that we were able to help each other. And so take another look at your mother. Say whatever you need to in this moment. Feel her love, and let it continue to be with you as you move forward throughout this story, throughout this journey of this meditation and of life. Well, the child says, if you're ready, close your eyes again. I want to go forward a little bit. And as you close your eyes, you can feel a sensation of movement without moving. The warmth of the mother remains as a memory in your heart. And yet you feel yourself almost flying through space, flying through time. And as you are moving through the space, it is as if you are seeing a movie screen before your eyes. And on this movie screen, you see yourself. You see the young you as a child, moving from toddler, slowly growing into infant, several months old, 5 months old, 6 months old, growing each and every single day. Now you see yourself at about a year old, and as you do this, you're both witnessing and yet sending love to these moments. And now you're a year and a half, you're 2 years old, seeing remnants of memory from your life rising before your eyes. And as much as you're watching this screen, you're also in this space. You are now present as you observe, like a watcher, watching over these moments as if you were always there. And you see the moments as you continue to grow as a young child, the moments of you playing joyfully, smiling, running through sprinklers, climbing through fields and jumping off little hills, playing with friends, climbing trees, picking flowers, playing with pets, and being in awe, seeing the world through your eyes once again, that playful nature. And in this moment, you too also see the times in which it was harder, the times in which you were sad as a small child, the times in which you fell down and you scraped your knee, the times in which maybe you accidentally felt like you were lost. And as you're slowly growing older and older, 3 years, 4 years older now, you're seeing remnants of your memories of your life flashing before your eyes. And as you observe this, simply look back with gratitude, with love. And now you see yourself, and the clock is catching up to about 7, 8, 9 years old, and this passage of time is slowing down. And it arrives at a moment, a particular moment that you choose from your childhood, one in which you choose to commune with yourself, perhaps one when you were most happiest, perhaps one where you were saddest. Find a moment throughout your past, or maybe it doesn't even have to be a particular moment. Maybe it's just this moment. And as the passage of time slows down, you are now standing in front of your child self. And your child self is standing there in front of you. And you bring yourself down onto your knees as you bring yourself down to the height that you once were. And you look into your eyes. And as you do this right now, you may feel, for no reason at all, yet every reason, your eyes start to swell with tears. As you look at yourself, and you see your own eyes looking back at you. And in this moment, what do you need to say to yourself? What does yourself need to say to you? As yourself stands in front of you, you can see the story they have been living. Perhaps they don't know what the future holds. You do. What can you say to yourself in this moment? Maybe there's not much that you need to say at all. And just be in this moment of gratitude. And slowly, if you haven't already yet, gently lift your hand up in front of yourself as your younger self reaches forward with their hands, palms facing towards each other. And pay very close attention to the exact moment when your fingers touch. To the exact moment when you feel the contact, the flesh, the matter of your body. And from here, maybe you grab your own hands. Maybe you hold both of your own hands in your hands. And maybe in this moment, the younger you, uncertain of what to do, as you gently open your arms and you give permission for them to lunge forward into you and give you a big hug. And feel that. Feel that moment. Feel the warmth of you hugging yourself. And you feel this, and it reminds you of the hug you received from your mother. It reminds you of the feeling of being in the womb. And simply breathe here. Simply allow yourself to be present in this space. The child, your guide who is still with you, speaks to you as you continue to hug your past self. Do you feel it again? The wholeness. I can tell you needed it. A lot of people, they tend to forget their self when they grow up. The child, the one that you're looking at right now, they're still with you. It's still in your heart. It's still you. Forwards, backwards, it's all the same. Wholeness to separation. Wholeness to separation. Another journey for us to be able to see ourselves. As you breathe deeply into your heart, you gently choose, if you wish, to release from the hug. And in this moment, the child gives you the instructions once again. Whatever you need to say to yourself, go ahead. Speak to yourself and listen. There's something your child self has to say to you, to remind you of your dreams, to remind you of the magic, to remind you of all the dreams that are still inside of you. I'll let you two have that conversation. Take a few more moments. When you're ready, there's something else that I want to show you next. And so breathe here. And once again, I will just stop talking for a moment as you are in this moment, in this space with your past self. And as you are in this space, let it encode your past. Let you fold time in on itself. Through the magic of this 1111 portal, you can connect back with who you are through time. You can listen to this meditation on any day and it's still equally as potent. And so breathe here. And I'll gently bring the music up so you can continue to have this discussion with yourself. And as you do this, practice speaking and practice listening. What do you have to say to yourself? What words of inspiration? What words of love? And what does yourself have to say to you? What words of inspiration? What words of love? So breathe here in this moment. Take your time and have this conversation. Go ahead. And gently take another moment here. Look yourself in the eyes. Say thank you. Say thank you to yourself. And allow yourself to receive that gratitude in return. And so, there's still more of the journey ahead. And when you are ready, we will leave this space, the child says. I want to take you back further. You mean before I was born? Yes. I want to be able to show you more of who you are. More of who we are. And so when you are ready, gently stand up and say goodbye to your child self. Maybe you give yourself another hug, give yourself a high five, give yourself a little cool fist bump with some sort of magic handshake. End it with a smile. Tell them that they're awesome. Hear the child telling you that you're awesome. And slowly, when you're ready, you and the child walk in opposite directions. Them walking in the direction they were facing, and you walking the direction you were facing. As you continue to walk along this path, slowly, you begin to feel a lightness fill your body as your feet leave the ground, and you are now floating above the landscape of the sky. The voice of the child who is your guide is still with you in this moment. Take a look below you. See it. What do you see? And so, as you fly above this landscape, you pass over rolling mountains and hills. And yet, the time period that you are in is unrecognizable. Thousands, perhaps millions, perhaps billions of years outside of the time that you were born. And as you are flying above these mountainscapes, you see the landscape below shifting and changing, as if the landscape and all of the world around you is moving through time at a rate 1,000 times faster than it normally would be. And so you see forests rising and shifting, you see tides rising and falling, you see the structure of the earth breathing, and you feel the air moving around you. You feel the lightness of your body as you fly above these landscapes in complete awe of this moment, and breathe in this magic. Breathe in this moment. Breathe in everything that you see as you look and you see the earth coming to life where there was once stagnant. Now there is motion. You see the breath of the forest, and you see it matching your own breath. Years flashing by in seconds. Lifespans of trees growing and falling before you. And you slowly begin to feel the call to go deeper, to float down towards the ground. And as you do this, you land in the middle of a forest, and you still see the forest changing all around you, trees rising, falling, and animals moving all around you. You see wild birds, rodents, and slowly the time begins to slow down just a little bit more, enough for you to observe it. You see different insects, you get right on the ground, you see little bugs, you see mushrooms growing and closing, you see flowers blossoming, you see the seasons changing, something that you had never thought that you would ever see, something beyond words, something incredible, just in awe of this moment. And as you look, just look at whatever calls you, feel the magic of this moment. See it moving all around you. And the child speaks to you in this moment, and it says, see, look, the rhythms of nature, it's all you. It's all the breath, in, out, wholeness, separateness, spring, winter, life, death. And so, as you're in this space, take another moment here to breathe in what you're observing and express gratitude for this space, for the magic of this experience that you are seeing before your very eyes with your heart. Now from here, you gently lift up off the ground, rising above the tree lines. And as you are soaring through the sky once again, you look down below, and you now see the emergence of culture, of human beings. And what you see here is relative to your imagination. This is your opportunity to connect back through time. What do you see? How far back do you see? What civilizations do you see? Civilizations that hold a personal connection to you. Stories that you have only heard of. And you see people in tribal fashion. You see them celebrating around the fire. You see them hunting, you see them gathering, you see them building, you see them loving, you see them celebrating, you see them eating, you see them being. And yet you also see them suffering, and you see them hurting, and you see them crying, and you see them dying. And yet that too is a part of the cycle. As the world changes all around you, you stand there, perhaps in the middle of a civilization as it transforms all around you. And as it transforms around you, you take individual moments to connect with all of the love, with all of the joy, with all of the bliss, with as much that you choose to look at. You hear the voice of the child once again. Do you see it now? The experiences of people? It's still us. It's still nature. It's still you. Wholeness, separateness. There is only separateness. When there is fear, when there is loss, when there is death, that is us experiencing separateness, and yet the separateness is just an illusion. The separateness is still wholeness. We just have to pretend like it's not. We just have to feel like it's not, because it is when we are separate that we can allow ourselves to find our way back. We can allow ourselves to return back to that wholeness. And so in this moment, as you continue to move through time, as you continue to see all of the people throughout lifetimes who have lived, allow yourself to feel to the depths of your capability in as heart-opening of a moment as you can, all of the moments throughout time in which people have loved, in which people have experienced joy. You see the young man falling in love with the young woman. You see the mother with their child. You see the father with their son. You see the family coming together. You see it all. You experience it all, not as something separate, but as you, as us. And so as you continue to move through time, allow yourself to see even further, deeper, catching up closer to the age in which we are at now, the age in which we exist in and share together, a few, several centuries away from it. And as you get closer to the time in which we are at, give yourself the permission, if you choose, to look at the things that are perhaps sad, the things in which are not always easy to look at. And what you choose to look at is entirely up to you, yet you are invited in this moment to remember the good times and to remember the times in which we hurt as individuals, as culture, and to see them through the lens of love, to see them through the heart of compassion, and to not be angry at them, to not just be angry at them, but to see it as another part of our story. Wholeness, separateness, wholeness, separateness. And so in this moment, you look back and you see the wars. You see the wars that have persisted throughout ages. You see tribes rivaling against each other. You see man conquering one another. You see villages burnt. You see towns raided. You see, again, as much as you choose to look at, you see the violence between man. And not just that, as you flash through in this moment, as much as you choose to, seeing the wars, seeing the world wars, World War I, World War II, and when you see them, look not just at the violence, but look at the people affected by it, the families. See the camaraderie, see the fact that on both sides, these are just humans. These are loving beings. These are people with families. These are people with wives and husbands. These are people who are just like you. And as you do this, allow it to inspire you. Allow the sadness to motivate you to say to yourself that the past is the past, that the lessons of separateness have taught us many lessons, have helped us find ourselves back to ourselves. And let us remember those affected by war so that we can continue to move forward into a world of peace. And so as you open your heart to this, as you feel a deep empathetic connection, with the courage to look at it as much as you choose, as much as you're comfortable with, allow yourself in this moment to empathetically connect deeply with your heart, with this moment, with the people who have experienced so much, with the generations who have come before us. As the time continues to move forward, slowly, it moves beyond the ages of the past, and it begins to catch up with where we are now. And as you have looked back on all of these moments in your past, let you look back with love and send love to these moments. And take a breath here. All of the moments that you saw, bless them. Bless them with love. Give them love that perhaps they have never received. Any of those moments throughout all time. The times of joy, the times of strife, wholeness, separateness, wholeness, separateness. Send love to all of these moments. Fold time back in on itself. See them. Witness them. Give them the love that they need. Heal our past by learning from it. And so, as you take another deep breath here, just send as much love as you can to all the past, to all the wars, to all the good times, to all the bad times, to all the civilizations, to all the cultures. Just send love to it. Take 1 or 2 more breaths here. The child says to you, "Thank you for doing that. Your intention, your blessings, your wishes, your love, it makes a difference, you know. Vibrationally speaking, our thoughts, they're not limited by time. Our gratitude transcends more than we know. You have given love to something in history that perhaps has never been given love before. And in doing that, you are creating a more peaceful world for the future." Wow, you think to yourself. You feel the purpose of what you have done. Through looking at the hard times, you make room for the beautiful times. And so in this moment, time continues to move forward, and you feel yourself like a magnet being pulled close to where we are now. And you feel yourself gravitationally being pulled to where you were, perhaps even just recently. a time not too long ago when perhaps maybe it was a time when you were sad, maybe it was a time when you were happy. Yet in the same way, you met with this child version of yourself. Find a moment when you can meet your present self in a similar space with a similar intention. Show up for yourself in this moment and see yourself, whatever it is that you're going through, whatever it was that you were going through, a moment when you could have used a little bit of extra love, a little bit of extra support. Go to this time. Walk up to yourself, wherever it is. Gently put a hand on your shoulder or gently near your body. And in this moment, the version of yourself, the present version of yourself, it doesn't need to talk to you. It doesn't even need to know that you are there. It's like you are there for yourself, as a guardian, as an angel, whatever you want to call it. You feel the presence of the child with you. Good. In the same way that you have loved so much to all those other moments, give yourself this love right now. Be proud of where you have been. Be proud of where you have come from. Be proud of what you are learning. Be proud of what you are moving towards. And so, give yourself an energetic hug. Give yourself a deep, meaningful moment of love. Tell yourself that you're proud of yourself. Remind yourself of the purpose that you are here for. And the child reminds you, what is that purpose? You are here to live, to love, to laugh, to experience joy, to heal, to create balance, to learn, to share in this story in which we help find your way home together. So take another moment here, speak to yourself anything that you need to speak. Remind yourself in this moment, even gently give yourself a hug. Feel the warmth of you being there for yourself. Say whatever you need to yourself. Remind yourself, it's going to be okay. There's still so much more ahead. There's so much more that we are creating. There's so much more that we are here to do. To help others see this connection we share, this magic that moves through all things. The love that we breathe through our art, the passion that we put into our work, the space that we hold for one another. Say unto yourself anything you need to. When you are ready, the child says, we will move on to what is next. And then from there, there's somewhere very special that I want to be able to take you. And so take another moment here, breathe with yourself. Honor this moment. Plant the seed that you need within your heart. And when you are ready, gently you can rise, and slowly the scene you are in begins to shift. And you find yourself in a vast ocean of whiteness. The voice of the child is still with you. Before we move on to what's next, let's take a moment here to practice creating the future. You know who you are. You're still learning each and every day. But who do you want to be? What do you want for yourself? I want you to imagine what you wish for yourself. I want you to imagine what you wish for yourself and the world. And as you are in this space, I want you to hold this in your vision, hold this in your mind's eye, hold this in your heart as best as you can. Focus on it. Breathe it into existence. Feel the future that exists. And so as you breathe here, take a moment. Focus on the feelings that you wish for yourself for the future. Set forth that intention with the power of the full moon moving through you. Where do you see yourself in a month from now? In a year from now? In 10 years from now? It may not be specific. It can be a feeling. Whatever that feeling is, feeling of excitement, that feeling of freedom, that feeling of connection, that feeling of community. Hold that feeling in your heart right now. And take the next few moments to simply be present with it. Feeling the support of the child with you, their presence helping anchor you into this awareness. Anchor you into this vision, perhaps allowing you to see what is possible with more clarity. And so feel as you breathe, energy moving up through your spine. A heart. You feel your heart opening up. And continue to breathe here. Simply by being present, simply by focusing, you allow yourself to fold these moments in on themselves. You allow yourself to find your way back. You allow yourself to find your way forward. Take a few more breaths here. Imagining where you may be or where you want to be in 10 years from now. Imagine where you want the world to be in 10 years from now. And as you do this, without it even being specific, simply plant love into that moment. Plant love into the future. Plant love into the present. Feel the love that has been planted from the past as well. Encode as much love as you can. Lay down the path before you. Let love lead you. Breathe here. Take another moment. Beautiful. So as you connect with your breath, the voice of the child gently brings you back. They are standing in front of you now as you look at them. You take a moment to thank them, to express your gratitude. The child says to you, well, there's a couple more things I want to be able to show you. And like I said, there's a very important reason as to why you are here. We're going to go somewhere. somewhere special, somewhere that perhaps you have already been. And so just like that, the world begins to move around you once again, colors and shapes passing by at incredible speeds, and yet slowing down in a moment later as the two of you arrive in front of a sacred temple. Before you is a beautiful temple, and the child explains to you, this temple, this is your temple. This is your sacred temple. Like I said, maybe you know it already. Maybe you just haven't remembered yet. And so as you look at this temple, imagine it in as much detail as you wish. Imagine it like a pyramid. Imagine it with architecture that reflects your very soul, that reflects your style. The child says to you, go inside. There are 3 floors. On the first floor, you will find a pool of water. When you are there, connect with your ancestors. Ask them to be with you. Be in gratitude with them. On the second floor, there is a mirror, a gate. Reflected in it, you will see your true self, your activated avatar. Walk through it with intention. On the third floor, you will find a crystal sphere, and you will hear a calling. From there, together with you and the others, we will set forth our intention to help pull back the veil, to help encode more love into the grid. I'll be waiting for you when you're done. Now go. There's not too much more left to do. And so, in this moment, you walk towards the temple. It becomes bigger as you walk closer to it. Its scale, enormous, not too big, yet beautiful. You enter into the temple, and as you do, imagine it with as much detail as you wish. Things on the walls, engravings, symbols, stories perhaps. This is your temple. It will be customizable as you choose, and know that this is a place that you can return to as you wish to repeat this ceremony at any time. You hear the voice of the child guiding you. Do you see the pool up ahead of you? Walk towards it. You see candles lit within the temple, and in the middle of this vast open room, you see a pool. And as you walk towards the pool, you stand before it. And as you do, you look down and you see your reflection. Good. Look at your reflection. Look at your eyes. Eye gaze with yourself in the reflection of this water. And as you do this, call forth your connection with your ancestors. Connect with them and ask them to be with you. Feel their guidance in your field. They are ready. They share the same mission that you share now, to help be light, to help lead, to help create, to help heal, to help transmute, to help be a portal for magic, love, and joy, to know thyself. And so as you look into these waters, you see your face reflecting back at you, yet your face slowly begins to shift. The shape of it slowly begins to morph as you see it change into the faces of your ancestors, male and female. And as you do this, speak to your ancestors and listen. Let them guide you. Let them tell you what you need to hear. Ask them to be with you. Ask them to be with you on this journey as you continue to rise into more of who you are here to be. The eyes continue to look back. The shape of the face continues to shift. You see not just your ancestors, but perhaps, even past versions of yourself. Stories beyond time. And as you look and you feel your ancestors with you, imagine their hands gently on your shoulders. Feel their presence guiding you. And feel their whisper in your ear. Promise to them. What are you here to do? To find yourself, to live your truth, to bring forth balance, to shine your light. Whatever it is, say it to them. Promise you will continue to show up with your best effort. That is all you have to do. That you'll continue to be open, honest with yourself. You will continue to grow. Continue to love. And so take another moment here. I'm gently going to allow you to be in this space with your ancestors on your own. Allow them to show you anything you need to see, and allow it to inspire your heart. Allow it to fill your vessel with the energy of their love. To know that they are with you. And by inviting them in, you continue to grow through their presence. They will guide you, speak to you through synchronicities, through dreams, through song, through art. You are working alongside with them. Take a few more moments here, looking into this pool, connecting with your ancestors, sending love through the past, feeling it ripple back into the present and beyond. Breathe here for a few more moments. And when the time comes, we'll gently return together. Go ahead. What do your ancestors have to say to you? What gratitude do you have to express to them? What do you have to say to them? Go ahead. Take a couple more breaths here. Conclude this conversation with your ancestors. Thank them once again for all they have done to allow you to be where you are now. A continuation, a branch from the same tree. Feel this love in your heart. Feel their courage. Feel their strength. And let it continue to guide you. Gently stand up as you look down at the pool once again. Any last moments you need to share, knowing that you can return to this space at any moment. in further meditations, this is your sacred temple. Let's connect with your past, your present, your future, your potential. Good, the child says, their voice inside your heart. Let's move to the second floor now. We're almost done. The last part is the most exciting. And so, as you walk up towards the second level of your sacred temple, perhaps just walking up some stairs, or maybe there's some kind of like magic elevator. It's your temple, you decide. But now, on the second floor of this temple, you see before you a giant mirror, one that touches the ground at the bottom. The entire mirror is not just a mirror you would find inside of a house. It's much more special. The pillars on it, on the left and the right, are golden, engraved with symbols, powerful, symbolic pillars that stand before you. And when you stand in front of this mirror, what you look at as you see your reflection looking back at you is not just you, but it's more of who you are. You see before you the activated avatar version of yourself. You see yourself as if you were a character out of some sort of beautiful fantasy video game, dressed up like a wizard, with golden robes, with beautiful armor if you choose. What do you look like? Imagine that you were dressing up to go to some sort of magical festival. What would you be wearing? Imagine yourself as if you were the metaphysical superhero that you see yourself as. What would that look like? Craft that in your vision right now. Form that. Look at it. As you look at your feet, what do your feet look like? Are they wearing golden boots? You look up further. What are you wearing? Are you wearing ancient armor? Are you wearing a beautiful dress? What do you have on you? What is your jewelry? What are your accessories? And as you look at your face, you see on you perhaps some sort of crown, something with a jewel in place over top of your brow. Make yourself as beautiful and as magical as you choose to see yourself as. And as you look at yourself in this moment, you hear the voice of the child once again. See? I always knew you had it in you. Wholeness to separateness. This too is you returning back to who you are. The you self, the you see in the mirror, that's always been you. Has always been a part of you. The child who you were then is who you see before you now. The tree is within the seed. The whole is within the part. The fractal is a hologram. And so as you look at yourself in this mirror, the child tells you, now, what we will do, this world needs you. This world needs us. And it needs the best of you. It needs you to be the light guardian you are. It needs you to choose to rise. It needs you to be the metaphysical superhero that you are here to be, to change this world through the magic of your vision, through the courage of your compassion, through the aesthetics of your art, through the stories that you are telling with your love, through the lessons that you are learning, through the wounds that you are healing, and through the portals that you are opening. And so as you look at yourself in this mirror, prepare yourself to step through it with intention. Step through it and move through it with intention. And as you move through this mirror, on the other side, you will exit as the reflection you choose to see. And so you bring your hand up to the mirror, your fingers just millimeters away from the surface. As you look yourself in the eyes, you breathe the courage into your heart. You feel the calling of a light guardian, of a shifter, of a psychedelic superhero, of the you that is here to make a difference, of the you that is here to heal, of the you that is here to lead, of the you that is here to evoke synchronicity and to find the others and to help them see this reflection within themselves. The reflection of the creator, the lover, the wizard. And so as your hand touches the surface of the mirror, you feel the mirror is not solid quite how you would expect it to be, but rather is more like a liquid. And as you put your finger against it more, you feel yourself slowly pushing through it. And so in this moment, when you are ready, take that step with intention. Pass through this 1111 portal. See this mirror as the 1111 portal. And allow yourself to step through with courage, with magic, with love. And as you do this, you feel yourself passing through it. You feel the textures moving across your skin. You feel yourself shifting into the version of yourself that you saw through this mirror. And slowly you step through with courage in your heart, with love in your breath, with vision in your sights, with inspiration to make a difference. And you are now through the mirror. And you turn around and you look back at the mirror from the other side, and now the reflection that you see matches the you that you see yourself as, that you are in this moment. And take a look at your hands. Take a look at what you are wearing. Feel the slight shift in your being. Feel the slight shifts in who you remember yourself to be. You feel this immense energy moving through you. You feel this strength. You feel this courage. You feel like a badass. You feel like a superhero. The child speaks to you. Wow, dude. I gotta say, you wear it well. You look really good doing it. Now, do you feel ready? Do you feel ready for what we're gonna do next? You take a moment here and you breathe and you answer truthfully. Yes. Yes, I am ready. I am ready to show up. I am ready to do my best. I am ready to use my magic to help change this world. Good. Let's go up to the top floor. There's one more thing that we have to do. And so as you make your way up to the top floor of your sacred temple, again, a space that you can return to at any moment beyond this meditation alone, give yourself the knowledge and the knowing that you can return back to the space, that you can return to the pool of your ancestors, that you can return to the mirror of your higher self. And as you enter into the third floor, there you see, in the middle of a room, a crystal sphere on top of a pedestal. And the sphere is glowing. The sphere is beautiful. The child explains to you, this sphere, it's a reflection of the whole. It's a reflection of the mother, of the womb, of the earth, of the matrix, of this space that you are in, so that you can continue to be born again and again and again. You take a moment here. You put your hands near the orb. You feel an energy off of it. You feel a familiar sensation of it. You are brought back to a sensation of the womb, to the mother, to the love, and everything that you have experienced in this journey. You recall it in this moment, talking to yourself as a child, feeling yourself moving throughout history, feeling yourself acknowledging and witnessing all of those who have come before you, feeling yourself sending love to all of those moments of our past, helping heal the past simply by witnessing it, simply by loving it, simply by understanding it, simply by being it. You see yourself talking to yourself. You see yourself giving the love that you need. You see yourself being a guide to yourself. You see yourself looking into the future and envisioning the future, crystallizing it. You see yourself arriving at the temple. You see yourself communing with the ancestors. You see them standing beside you in strength. You feel them right now, their hands still on your shoulder. You see yourself before the mirror. You see yourself stepping into your superhero potential, your activated avatar, your light guardian archetype. And now you are here. And as you are standing here, you look up and you realize that you are standing in a pillar of light. For above you, there is a hole in the ceiling. Above you, you can see the sky. The voice of the child tells you, well, it's time. You're ready. Everything up to this moment has been leading us to where we are now. When you are ready, rise up out of the temple. Will yourself to fly. Feel the lightness inside of you. And as you do this, you feel yourself lifting off the ground. The crystal sphere still at the top of the temple, something that you can return to, but now something else calls you higher. You lift up above the temple. You feel yourself floating. You feel yourself rising above the surface. And as you do this, you look off into the distance. And you can see little specks of light, like little diamonds rising all across the horizon, each and every single one shining back like a little tiny star. And that's when you realize that as you continue to rise higher and higher above the horizon, that each and every single one of those little stars is another superhero, another light guardian, another shifter, another dreamer within this dream, a friend, an ally, us, community. And so we continue to rise above the horizon together. And as we do this, we see the alignment that we create, the sacred grid that we form as we look down on the earth deep below us. And we see the earth and we are reminded of our mother. We are reminded of the womb. We are reminded of the love. The voice of the child is still with you. Good, good. All right, now listen closely. Connect with your breath. Breathe from your root and feel the energy moving up through your spine. What we are going to do here is we are going to call forth the power of love, and we are going to bring it into both hands, project it from our heart, and as we project our love like a laser, like a beam of energy onto the earth, let it continue to dissolve the illusion of separation. Let it continue to make space to pull back the veil. Let it continue to spread love. Let it continue to open spaces for others to see themselves. And so, as you are high above the horizon, you look around you. To your left, you might see a familiar face. To your right, another familiar face. Friends, allies, family of the heart. On your left, The moon is in the sky. On your right, the sun shines over your shoulder. You feel their energy as you breathe in from your left hand and breathe in from your right hand. And you begin to feel any activation sensations moving up through your spine. And in this moment, you cultivate the energy together. You follow the instructions as a child says to you. Good. Breathe this in. Continue to breathe this moment. When the time is right, we will pour forth this love. We will pour forth our energy. We will pour forth these moments that will change the world, that will plant the seeds, that will ignite the heart of the earth itself, that will give the mother the love it needs as we receive this love back, right back to us. And so, as stewards of this land, as guardians of this light, as shifters of these paradigms, feel this energy moving through you. Feel this breathing through you. And as you do this, and this moment, for those who choose, imagine the paradigm shift sigil over your heart, on your back, as it expands like a compass, like a star. Breathing energy, directing this energy like a portal, like a stargate. And in this moment, you begin to project this energy down into the earth. Focus in this moment, focus your love, visualize it to the best of your abilities. As you pour this love, shooting it forward, as this beam of energy begins to pick up speed, pouring out through your hands like a faucet of water, or like a Kamehameha from Dragon Ball Z, moving at tremendous speeds into the earth as it hits the surface of the ground. Each and every single one of us rising above the horizons, forming like a grid, shooting these beams of energy down into the earth with these beautiful purple, vibrant greens, silvers, and golds. As they hit the earth, they dissolve the illusions of separateness. They dissolve the shadow. They shine forth the light. They bring forth the love. They bring forth everything that is needed in this moment. And so breathe here, continue to pour forth this energy, feel any activation sensations up your spine, feel the love of this moment, feel the purpose of what it is that we're doing here, know that what is being done creates a ripple beyond this moment, creates more space for more of us to remember who we are. And so as you take a moment here to breathe and take a break, you hear the voice of the child. Good, good. If you're ready, we can do this one more time. Take a moment here, breathe. You look around, you see your allies, you see your friends, you see your tribe, you see the energetic love that we are pouring forth into the heart of the earth. And in the same way you spoke love to your mother when she removed you from the womb, speak now to that same mother. Allow yourself to be in this moment of wholeness, no longer separate, and yet in your separateness you see your wholeness. You look back at the mother. Good. Now is the time, says the child. Breathe. On the count of 5, we will pour forth this love like a beautiful Kamehameha onto the earth. You feel this purple green energy building in your hands, this golden light in your heart. 5, take another moment here to breathe. 4, focus on love. 3, hold gratitude in your heart. 2, begin projecting this energy forward from your chest. And 1, focus. As this beam of energy projects downwards into the ground, and as it hits, it spreads this beautiful wave of energetic love across the horizon, wrapping all of the world in its colors, spreading this vibration all throughout the land, moving throughout all beings, seen and unseen, as you feel the hands of your ancestors on your shoulders, as you feel the energetic potential of this moment. Breathe. Gently release. The world now has a beautiful purple glow to it. You hear the laughter of the child. That was amazing! Did you see that? Did you see what we did there? The world is different now, ever so slightly, by you choosing to make a difference, by you sending that love. And so, let us continue this. Let us continue this story. Follow me as the child calls you forth, bringing you further down towards the surface. All of the other people who are here in this meditation, you see them too, going down towards a single point, and you see the child standing down there on the ground next to a beautiful tree. As you slowly bring your feet down to the ground in this beautiful, rich, open field. As you are here in this moment, you see all the other people who are a part of this meditation arriving in this field together, gently setting down, and you now get a chance to take a closer look at the beauty that they are, of all the magical costumes and wardrobe that each and every single one of them has. You take a moment here, you see some friends, you run over to them, you give them a hug, you express your love to them. You see family, maybe you've never even seen them before. Tribe, this tribe of the heart. You look around and you see all of these familiar faces, perhaps even seeing me somewhere amongst the crowd. And these people all coming together for a single purpose, for a higher purpose, to be able to continue to encode our intentions into this earth. And you hear a whisper in the back of your heart, the mother speaking to you, saying thank you. All of these people here filling up this field with this beautiful tree just off in the distance. And now everyone coming together in a big group hug. Imagine yourself somewhere closer to the middle of this hug, and you feel the warmth of all the people here with you. You open your heart and you're reminded in this moment of how many people are here right now to help make a difference on this planet, with purpose, with intention, with love. And you feel a gentle sway to this rhythm. You feel a gentle sway. The breath is no longer yours alone. It is the breath of the community. It is the breath of the entire tribe. You feel an immense sense of love move through you. You look down to your side and you see the child hugging next to you. They look up to you and you give them a smile. A deep sense of emotion fills your heart right now. Perhaps your eyes begin to fill with tears. You are no longer worried about the future, about the past. You are simply present in this moment. The child looks at you sincerely. They say to you, "Thank you. Thank you. This is why I brought you here. This is why I brought all of us here. So that we can do this together. It was always about us doing it together. Every day, every moment, the little things that make the big difference. The magic that we bring into this world through our art, through our hands, through our hugs. You feel the sway of the entire crowd moving through you. You feel this love just incredibly profound in your heart. You take another look at the eyes of the people here with you. You say thank you to them, and you feel their gratitude back. The earth now has an energetic purple glow to it. The veil of separation has continued to dissolve. Now more people are remembering, more people are seeing, more people are connecting. Wholeness to separateness to wholeness. paving the way for them to find themselves back, to find the way back to their heart. The child says to you, remember, that is what we are here to do. You are here to lead people back to their heart. You smile in this moment. It's so simple. It's always been so simple. And perhaps that's why we lost it, because it was right in front of us all along. Take another moment here. Breathe into this moment. You close your eyes. You feel the gentle sway of the entire community, every single person who is here, showing up with intention. All of these badass superheroes, all of these badass light guardians, these shifters, every day, planting seeds, making a difference, transforming themselves, transforming the world. With your eyes closed, you feel the same warmthness that you felt in the womb, and you realize that connection you long for, it's found in others. It's found in service. It's found in purpose. Your eyes still closed. The voice of the child guides you. Well, I'm glad you had fun. I'm glad you showed up. Thank you for doing the work. Thank you for transmuting the dream. Thank you for leading the way, for leading the shift. Your eyes slowly see a point of light. The warmthness that you felt inside the womb is now seen through the light of the full moon. Your eyes slowly open within your imagination, and you are now standing right where you began, at the edge of the water, and yet in the place of the sun, you now see the moon. And the moon gives off the same glow that you felt from the womb. And when you look to the moon, you're reminded of the mother. You're reminded of the wholeness. You're reminded of the magic. You're reminded of your mission. The child still stands beside you. It's been an absolute honor spending time with you here. Like I said, this wasn't an accident. I'm glad we got to do this together. And so what happens now, you ask? Well, the story continues. Beyond this meditation, we'll still be connected. There's a part of me that is you. It's a part of me that's always going to be with you. Through all the love that you share, through all the transformation you go through all the joy you experience, the highs, the lows, the wholeness, the separateness. It matters. And I wish you all the best. I wish you all the joy that you deserve. I'm proud of you. I've always been proud of you. You are a strong soul. You are a brave soul. And anything that you are carrying, remember this, is only there because you are strong enough to carry it. And so thank you for choosing to help carry it, for choosing to help transmute it, for choosing to be a bridge, for choosing to shift the paradigms, to be a shifter, to be a light guardian. You take a moment here and you express your gratitude for the child. You thank them sincerely for being a guide, for being with you in this moment as you look again towards the moon. And you hear the waves and you feel the water rolling up on your feet, knowing that you too can return back to this moment at any time. You look the child in the eyes And if you choose to, give them a hug. Thank them. See them as an extension of yourself. See them as your own inner child, if you wish. Well, the child says, it's time for me to go. I can hear my parents calling me. It was wonderful meeting you. I'm sure we'll meet again. You know where to find me. I'll always be right here. As the child points to his heart. As the child points to your heart. And as you put your hand on your heart. You look towards the moon once again. As this meditation slowly comes to an end. You hold gratitude in your heart. You feel inspiration in your soul. You feel a calling to make a difference. You feel a strength in the connection of community. You're excited for the future. You're excited to create. You're excited to lead. You're excited to love. Take a few more deep breaths here. Deep, gentle inhale. Deep, gentle exhale. Take one more look at the moon. Thank it. As you thank your mother. As you thank the earth. And you hear the love of your mother whispered back to you. Slowly, when you are ready, gently begin to bring awareness back to your physical body as we slowly begin to transition our way through this meditation as we conclude it with gratitude. When you are ready, gently wiggle your toes, gently wiggle your fingers. When you are ready, you can slowly open your eyes, return your awareness to the space around you. Continue to breathe. Take your time. And continuing to breathe. And just like that, we slowly transition our way back to this timeline. Welcome everyone. Just go ahead, take your time. And wow. So at this point, if you need some water, go ahead, grab some water. If you would like to be able to just grab a pen and paper, do some journaling, and by all means, just go ahead and slowly bring yourself back, and we'll get myself back on the web camera here in a second. And thank you again, everyone, for joining in. That was very special. It was very powerful. Beautiful. Okay. One second here as I just get the webcam set up again. But nonetheless, for those of you who are here, go ahead, as you bring yourself back, go ahead and drop a comment into the YouTube chat if you would like to be able to leave some feedback. And there we go. Perfect. All right. Aloha. Thank you, everyone, so much for being here, for joining in. That was cool. Honest, that because like seriously, there's a reason why I wanted to do that tonight, and just like the idea of being able to allow myself to just be like sitting back and taking part in the meditation in a way that would be normal for you guys, but not normal for me. So I'm very special. That was very special that we got to be able to join in for that. Beautiful.
All right, so in about a couple minutes, I'll give you guys a heads up. I'll turn the webcams back on inside the Zoom Hangout. And if there are some people in the Zoom Hangout who did just want to share some short thoughts and express any gratitude, we can do that before we wrap things up here. But yeah, that was really cool. And if you, for all of everyone tuned in right now, if you feel called to, if you're comfortable, drop an 1111 if you cried even just a little bit. And yeah, I cried a little bit, so it was really cool. I was it was a while since I've even like worked on that meditation, so it was quite a while back. So I was pretty pleased to be able to go back and listen to it with everyone. So it was beautiful. Awesome. Thank you so much, everyone. And again, just reading off some of the comments in the YouTube chat as those start coming in. Curtis saying, bro, that was epic. It is so epic, I mean. Stella saying, that was great. Rasa saying, that was awesome. You're awesome, all of you. Beautiful, beautiful. So again, at this point, if people want to join into the Zoom call, as I can see a couple people are just doing now, do that. And if you want to just say something on air and just express some gratitude, like say something in terms of like how that experience was for you, and then we'll wrap up the broadcast and be on our way and just come back and party another time. So thank you again, everyone, for joining in, and we'll just turn the webcams on in about 1 minute. And again, just kind of going over the significance of that meditation, at least from my perspective. The end of it was like really, really, really meaningful, and that was like a big part of it. And the other parts are equally meaningful, but they themselves were like, again, a journey, a part of the journey, and to be able to arrive to that place later on in the meditation, again with the with both the temple and kind of the conclusion of going up onto the earth and like shooting our kamehamehas of love down onto the earth and everything like that, that experience in itself. But the reason why that was so important, I feel, is because of through that experience, it actually creates a stronger bond between us. Through that experience, I mean, from my own experience, and I'll just share a bit about that. From my own experience, that part of the meditation, the visuals that I was visualizing, I was just like flexing my imagination, and I presume for a lot of other people, like it was like, you know, like watching a superhero movie. It was like something out of like a super dope like anime type thing that I was kind of like able to witness in my mind just using our visuals. And I would actually love, this is an idea that crossed my mind, I would love to invite people if they feel called, given like the shared visions we had, feel free to like draw a picture or like articulate that vision in art if you feel called. Like I have versions that I've made in the past of similar things, but I might like in my mind I can just see this dope picture of us like as like superheroes across the horizon shooting our kamehamehas onto the earth and everything like that. So if you guys want to go ahead and take a crack at creating a visual representation of that, please, by all means, because I might do it myself. But anyways, that part in itself was very, very powerful. The whole part coming down into the nice hug circle even at the end. Again, there were parts of this that I think were just like very meaningful for us to have like even received now. I feel like listening to it then was very meaningful, but now it's like meaningful in a different way. That idea of like, oh, like there's a space we can go through our imagination that gives us kind of like that warmth, that comfort, that nurturing. And it's a very powerful thing to remind ourselves that we are still connected beyond physical distance. And this is a great opportunity for us to practice it. So right now, for everybody tuned into this as kind of a continuation of the meditation, the story from here forward is like, we continue to kind of like get good at being the superheroes we are, nurturing ourselves, working on like our physical body and then like the energetic bodies. And this is where we can literally go into places like the astral, work together, imagination realms, putting intention into the grid. If there's a chance it works at all, then it's a chance worth doing. It's the way I see it. And so as a collective right now, we're kind of at this point where we got so much time to be able to explore these inner gifts, is the way I put it, and then to kind of continue to shift our consciousness from that end. So with that said, I'm going to turn on the web cameras, and what I mean by that is I'm going to switch over the camera to be able to show the grid that we have here. And just give me 2 seconds as I get things all set up there. And again, for everybody who's in the Zoom call, if you guys want to just be able to go ahead and turn your cameras back on, if you're still there. We only have myself and Courageous Owl And Chris on the webcams, I'm gonna turn those. I'm gonna switch those over 1 second. I'm just adding one more thing. Perfect. Beautiful. All right, so transitions that. Okay, so we got myself, Courageous Owl, Chris, Willow, and Lily, and I'm sure they're around. And Paul was around here a second. So go ahead, guys, make some noise and like be like woo woo woo, and just like send some love to the camera because they can see you on camera right now. So go ahead, just like do some heart signs, make some love, be like yeah, we love you, like so everybody woo, little dance. That was awesome. So I wanted to just be able to coordinate with you guys here. Chris, Courageous Owl, if you guys feel called where you just want to express some gratitude, go ahead, and then we'll wrap up the broadcast from there. Chris, I want to ask you first. Give me a thumbs up if you want to just like say something on camera, and we'll bring you on with the audio. Perfect. All right, so Chris, he's one of our Patreon supporters. He's been around in past broadcasts, and I'm really excited to just be able to like have him and so many amazing other people here to be able to just chat for a little bit. So if anybody wants to join the Zoom call as we're doing this, the link's in the video info, and I'll post it in the YouTube chat real quick. So Chris, with that said, passing the talking stick over to you. So go ahead. I should be able to hear you now.
Hey, so yeah, the
Perfect. All right. Okay.
it
Go for
it
it.
was
Talking stick.
okay. It was so like beautiful to like tune into your broadcasts. Honestly, I haven't just kind of like been keeping up with like a lot of the things going on with Paradigm Shift Central and everything, but I know that you've been doing all of this amazing work, and I'm so grateful to have tuned into that like really beautiful guided meditation. It was I kind of like wasn't in an extremely like meditative like space where I was like like lights out like super like visualizing, but I was actually doing art like while like I was
Nice.
listening to it, and it's funny because like
Nice.
you were talking about like like just like encircling
Mm-hmm.
or like bringing the earth into like all of these like like with the purple light or you were talking about like after like the Kamehameha wave you were
So,
like the
so you
earth
already
is
drew it basically.
yeah, no, but it was like this was like like a long time coming, but it's just interesting how
That's
I
dope.
chose to like pick up this piece and finish it tonight, and like
Oh,
it's
dope.
interesting when you look
Go
really
figure.
closely. I just wanted to say like I know I don't mean to take up too much time
No,
and
no, no.
stuff like
That's a great sync, man. So like,
that.
explain to me like the picture itself. Like it's kind of like similar energy, I guess you're saying. To kind of
Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna try
yeah.
to like turn the camera around just so I can like show it more.
Go
I
for
know
it,
it's in.
dude.
Let me like just turn the light on.
Not a problem. So sweet. All right. So I think if Willow or Lily, if you guys want to jump in, go ahead. But I feel like a couple people might even just fell asleep. It's possible. I know Paul did. So Courageous Owl, give me a thumbs up if you want to say something after Chris. If you want to just like jump in and share some gratitude. Courageous Owl, if you can just give me a thumbs up to confirm. I'm not sure if they're frozen actually. All right, so we're just waiting on Chris 1 second. So again, for those of you who are here, I'm also just checking the comments on the
that was, like, a big
Facebook
part of it, and
right now. So just to make sure I can give some shout outs to there. So thank you again to those of you tuning in on multiple platforms. We're live on YouTube and Facebook and Twitch. So thank you to Angela, Laura, Susie, and Sarita, and the amazing other people. Oh, looks like Luke dropped in for a bit. Chantel, if you guys are still here, much love to everyone. Angela Williams, and Kristen, and Travis. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining in. And again, shout out to all of you in the YouTube chat. And the link for the Zoom is posted into the YouTube. So like you can literally check it there. Perfect. All right. So Chris, if you're there, I'll pass it back over to you if you just want to talk for a bit. We'll just chat for a little bit. And then again, we'll wrap this up within the next, I would say like 15 minutes is fine. And then the reason for that will be to go get some rest. And gotta wake up early for waking up with Wolf. So Chris.
So I wanted to say
it.
so about the inspiration like behind this. It's so interesting how like I don't know, a lot of my like art just I kind of just go with it and like let it kind of evolve and like turn into whatever it ends up like turning into. But the original like vision actually started out like I wanted to kind of make like a weird like my representation of the Skeksis castle from from what is it called?
Crystal.
From yeah, from
Dark
the
Crystal,
Dark
yeah.
Crystal. So like so this was like my representation of that, and like it ended up kind of being this big like amalgamation of all of these different faces, and the way that I look at it is it's kind of like all of us being like kind of alien and kind of like weird looking, but like we're all kind of like, in this big castle together, in this big fort. That's one way of looking at it. But yeah. And
Cool,
yeah,
man.
I'm just super grateful though for being able to tune into that beautiful meditation. really awesome. And yeah, like I was kind of just going through a lot tonight with my family, and like, you know, working with just kind of yeah, stepping in more into my like power and stuff. So it was like really empowering, and I really loved it. So thank you.
Awesome, man. Awesome. I'm really happy to hear. And again, you know, we'll pass the talking stick over to if Courageous Owl, can you give me a thumbs up if you want to go next? Yeah. Okay. Cool. So again, I think it was like it was really it was really trippy and interesting for me to go back and listen to it with you guys, almost kind of pretending that I wasn't the person who made it. And again, just experiencing that, it's like the meditation itself had a lot of healing intention, and so it was kind of playing with this idea of kind of like visioning aspects of our past, putting energy there, and that energy in itself kind of allowing it to be a like in a, you know, creating this space for like a healing narrative. It's really interesting, really powerful. So I'm again just super grateful to everybody for joining in, for being a part of that experience. And sorry, I realize my camera is probably a little bit weird as I'm not fully setting it up properly right now, but we'll pass the talking stick over to the next person, and that will be Courageous Owl. And so again, at this point, even for you guys who are in the Zoom call, if you guys afterwards want to drop your Instagrams into the YouTube channel just to make sure everyone can connect. For anybody here on the YouTube chat, go ahead and just drop your Instagram channels into the chat and people can connect there, and even for those of you on Facebook. But with that said, we'll pass it to Courageous Owl, and then either Curtis or Susie, and then we'll again just give people a couple moments just to be able to express like what was that meditation like for them, and any closing gratitude. So that said, let me just unmute Courageous Owl here. And Courageous Owl, dude, thank you so much for joining in. Thank you so much for your support.
Thank you, man.
Go right ahead.
Where to even start? Like Chris said, that was empowering, man. Like you said, there was just like I could just feel water flow, man. Like every time you'd mention the moon or like the womb or something. And as soon as we got to the womb, that's when I started getting all teary up and all that. It got super hot. Had to take my jacket off and everything, but wow, man, it was transformational by the least.
Awesome, man.
And yeah, I really love your fucking work, and
thanks, man.
And just yeah, you are. I just feel like you were that kid, you were that guide for me, you know.
Dude, thank you, man. And it means a lot. Like even just the fact that you like put it, you're like sporting the buttons and stuff. I can see like that's just
yeah,
like
yeah,
like,
man.
even just that like so Curtis is like
I give
decked
them out
in
all
buttons
over town and stuff.
Oh, dude, we'll have to get you some more before you.
More soon.
Yeah, for sure, man, dude. Awesome, thank you so much, man. And go ahead, just express like any gratitude for like the community, or just again, you know, people tune in right now.
Oh, I mean the whole community that you built, like it's just everybody, like that whole story, that whole meditation that we just did, that was the story that we are in right now, cultivating through the separation and the wholeness, and we're just getting into that wholeness space that is the heart space, because the earth is the heart.
Yeah, man. Like that was like again, you know, like I was thinking this, like listening to the meditation and going back, like again, like I was like impressed by it, and I'm not ashamed to say that. I was listening, I'm like, damn, like I did a good job at pulling off something special here. And again, like part of it, what I felt was really powerful was like that part at the end where like the child speaking to you, and the child's just like, all you have to do is lead people back to your heart. Lead people back to the heart. And I've said that before in other broadcasts and things where it's like,
right, yeah,
that's what we're doing as leaders. We're literally leading people back to the heart, and it's like their wisdom and their connection that will kind of continue to guide them through that. Right. So yeah, dude, no, thank you, man. Thank you again for just like reiterating and for feeling it and for adding your energy. Man. Thank you, man. Cool, awesome. All right, Curtis, anything else before we pass the talking stick?
You can go ahead and pass Perfect. It on. I'll sit here in my thoughts. Please. I may have something.
Yeah, please, man. Please hang out. All right, so with that said, we'll pass it over to, let's see, Curtis or Susie. Curtis, we'll pass it over to you, and then Susie, give me a thumbs up if you're good to go for that. All right, so Curtis, that said, I'll bring you up on speaker view and unmute you, and go ahead, Curtis. We can hear you. Perfect. Talking stick in your hands.
Wow, man, that was epic. Like, that was something that I feel like you should do again. and different ways, and just wow. That's something that I feel like that's the start of something really good. I took like, I don't know, I felt like I was in a dream, but I've been there before, and like, I don't know, you just kind of took me to that spot, that place again. I don't know, it's weird because I sometimes I have dreams, and you kind of just trigger this like memory of a dream I had where there was a bunch, like a big, I don't know, when you're talking about everyone landing and coming back to next to that tree, I was thinking of like, just wow, it's like, oh, we're just a whole bunch of wizards and like, warriors talking and stuff. Kind of like, it was cool, an exchange. I would
Yeah,
like to use that as an exchange, like a exchange of energy in a different realm.
totally, man. Yeah, dude. Well, that's awesome, man. Go ahead if there's more you want to just communicate how that was for you or anything else. I'm happy with just listening, and we'll chat a little bit. Just listen. I just want to give you more chance to share any other thoughts, feelings. Like you obviously like.
Man, you haven't really
Go ahead.
interested in what you're. Yeah, I've just been interested in what you're doing. Ever since you started giving free hugs. That was really cool, and hopefully people can keep watching your stuff, and it's just amazing. That level of like connection you just brought today is, and I didn't even think about coming on until today. I didn't even like, because I've been so busy or whatever, and been watching you, and keep getting, I keep missing your stuff, but it's really cool to find, that synchronicity popped in. It's a big day, man. I felt like it.
Dude, and thank you again for sharing, and I agree, like today, like things just kind of lined up, and I'll just share with you guys something like really fascinating that was happening during the broadcast. And there was like the craziest storm outside. Like if it was happening like 90 minutes ago, like outside my window, it would have been like flashing constantly. And like I literally, like at one point I literally like went outside briefly, and I just looked, and it was just like this like constant like pulsating lightning like in the sky, almost like in a centralized space.
That
and
energy.
and
Wow.
now I'm just like, I'm like, and again, not to say we cause it, but the synchronization of it, like again, the energy kind of like already is gonna be there, and we arrive with it. But even just for me, I was like, we're just to kind of add,
Is the storm over?
the storm's over now, yeah, like it's not, and it was like hailing and stuff too, and at one point
Wow.
it like, yeah, at one point I was like, I'm like, whoa, like the power could go out. I wasn't actually worried about it, but it was really just like feeling the energy of the air and the storm and the lightning all during most of that meditation, and like throughout like kind of the epic parts as well. It was really, I got footage of it. I'll show you guys. I'll probably post it somewhere. It was really, really interesting. But
Man,
Curtis, oh sorry, did you? There's one more thing I just wanted to be able to. You were saying again how you're just like, yo, let's do more of that and everything like that. Absolutely. And so the good news is that, again, if for those of you who are here, like if that was your first time kind of having a story meditation with me, drop a 333 in the comments. But the good news is that we've done like several of those. I have like over 20 easily. And there's like different stories and different variations, and there may be either like between now and another live one, I may actually coordinate replaying another really cool one from the past that I feel will also be really relative. And that one, the name of it is called First Contact. And I don't want to spoil it, but yes, it involves like some like a contact experience. It's really trippy.
yeah, dude,
So
keep activating the grid, man. That's what they're saying.
yeah,
Keep like
dude, totally.
installing that like code. There's like this
Very,
code
very
that like,
much, yeah.
I don't know. I'm in sync with it.
Dude, man, I like, yeah, like again, we as a team, we're putting out like a very specific, very intentional, very like badass cool like signal, and more people are kind of hearing about it. And again, like it's really cool just to think that like over the past week I've been strategically working on TikTok, and TikTok has this very unique algorithm where if you like get a good video, it can reach a lot of people. So I'm curious. I'm like, yo, like how many people might have tuned in, like might have found me on TikTok yesterday and then tuned in for this tonight, and we're just like, whoa, like what did, this is really cool. This is, something I want to be involved more with. So shout out to anybody who, again, maybe here for the first time. But yeah, for anybody who's curious, if you check the notes in YouTube, like the show notes, scroll down and there's a link to like past global meditations, and you can find those through paradigmshitcentral.com. And you can listen to any of them, but I may actually do a rebroadcast of the first contact one. I just feel called that might be like a special evening we do that. But nonetheless, we will be doing more future global meditations. The last one we did in February was actually like or in March rather, was actually like a co-created one. It was myself, Brianna, and Rose, and we did like a 3-person guided meditation. Worked out really cool. So with that said, we could obviously talk all night. I just want to be able to pass the talking stick to Susie. And then Susie might be the last person, but Curtis, before we do that, any other gratitude you just want to be able to express for the experience, for the people out there? Please, by all means, go ahead, dude, and thank you again.
Man, just let that experience like take you to, you know, where you want the true self. I mean, you did it. Like that was like taking it and installing that true self into
Yeah.
people. That was cool.
Thank you,
Thank you.
man. Thank you. And that's a good way of putting it. It's like this, yeah, like the story like installs the program, the idea, and what we just installed was like a very empowering story where it's like, and again, it's not a new story. It's the story of like the hero's journey, us as like our own hero within this journey, the superhero, call it what you will, the light guardian, the shifter. So it was really cool. And yeah, like I know for me, like again, when I was listening to more of those epic parts, I was like trying to imagine it with like exaggerated like in my mind, like my imagination is almost like a movie, like it's like a Hollywood like Marvel movie where it's like flying around and like looking at things and like it's epic, I tell you. So but again, I encourage other people to just kind of like practice, you know, like imagining in these like extra exciting ways to kind of feel more of the story as well. A quick question, I'll ask it for Curtis, and just show of hands for anybody else. How many people here had like the familiar like tingling up the spine sensation, even just like a few times or like here and there? Yeah, like a few times and stuff like that. So yeah, like that's something that definitely again, I've from studying it and from observing it, it definitely comes from like like a synergizing of like emotional connection, emotional presence, and then just kind of like also, yeah, just like being in that meditative space to begin with. So that's where like usually if there's music and you're already in an emotional part of a story or something like that, it kind of like does something. And again, it's like I call them like activation sensations. It's just an interesting observation. And what I've also found is that this is future note for anybody, as you're, you know, practicing cultivating your energy, this becomes more accessible. Like as you're practicing like cultivating like the root energy, and you can actually get into a sensation like that, and then you can breathe, and then you can actually ride it. Like I've done this before where like instead it would be like 10 seconds and then it's kind of passed, and then it might not come back for a while. But I've done it before where I've like, and it was during one of our meditations in the past, and it was a similar story, and it was like, yeah, it was like riding that, like breathing then and feeling that energy sensation of the spine. It was very, very interesting. So again, if it can happen for me, like, you know, like there's other experiences that I think more of us are opening up to. And yeah, it's very much like, again, kind of using a narrative to propel us towards the path of like, you know, nurturing our physical body, our energetic body, our astral body, our mental body. And we'll talk more about that stuff as we go. But that's like exactly what the chakra practice meditation that we're doing on Waking Up with Wolf is all about. It's kind of like, again, working on the virtues and the energetic bodies as well, which allows us to kind of tap into astral realms and hang out in the astral. That's the objective. Whatever it takes to hang out in the astral, that's our objective. So nonetheless, Curtis, thank you again, man, for sharing and for being here. Really, really appreciate it. And with that said, we'll pass it over to Susie. And then if anybody does want to just say like one more small thing, we'll do that before we wrap it up. Susie, I'll pass it over to you, and I'm just going to unmute you now. And Susie, when you're ready, go ahead, share a bit about how that was for you and any gratitude.
Well, guys, can you hear me?
Correct, we can hear you. Thank you.
Awesome. All right. Well, I actually want to thank you guys. You guys have no idea. And it was so funny because all day today I have been doing nothing but literally talking to myself. Long story short, for the longest time I hated myself, and it wasn't anything that I did to myself. There was just a lot of things that occurred throughout my lifetime that showed me how suppressed I was. And then it didn't come to light till these past few years. I've been a massage therapist for 10 years. I've been a Reiki master for about 6. My tools that I used for tonight, which is hilarious that you, Brendan, popped up in my feed the moment I started doing my my meditating state, and something inside me was just like, go with it. And I was like, all right, whatever. So I just let you, like, the moment I turned my phone on, you popped up. I was like, put it down. And I was like, here we go. I'm going to show you some of my tools real quick on what I use, just so you can understand where I come from.
Please go for it.
All right. So this is my
That's a
protection.
dope crystal skull.
It is what is it called? Labradorite. It helps bring in the reflection, all the color of the rainbows within the skull. So I actually got this. I bought this myself to help protect myself, because at the time when I bought this, I lived in Los Angeles and I had a lot of demons like me. So they would latch on, and I used that to help, ward it all off. And it was so funny because when you were talking and I was following you, I've been talking to my inner child all day today, and I have been coaching myself through it. I have been speaking to the highest entities that I can speak to and try to negotiate with them and just try to make things go well, because I feel like I am connected to Archangel Raphael, and I'm also connected somehow to Lady Nada. I don't know if it's a direct connection or if they were assisting me, but I also had Perseus. I had so many entities that I also had myself with me, along with you guys. But if it wasn't for you guys, this would have never happened. And all day I have been waiting for this moment. I mean, like, it was a life and death situation. I was willing to give my life up for everything because I was done. I was so done. But the done wasn't, I was done with fighting, or I was done with the pain, or I was done with the happiness. I was done with the division, because the thing is if we live in a world, let alone a country, let alone a state, let alone a city or a town, it doesn't matter what race you are, what color, what sex, what do you like, what do you smell like, what your hair done is, it doesn't matter. I am somebody who is not only gay, lesbian, I'm also interracial. My mother is white, my dad is Spanish. Ever since I was in the womb, everyone hated me, and there was so much negativity on the fact that I even existed, that my whole life was literally a burden. And with that being said, that is why I hated myself for the whole time, because I was trained and taught to only hate myself, between the abuse, the physical, the verbal, the mental. I mean, and to be someone who is so broken up to different factors, like I'm not just white, I'm not just Spanish, I'm not just straight, I'm not one thing specifically, I'm all of it.
So you found the meditation helped?
Let me show you the ultimate tool that I used, and that lightning that you apparently saw, I saw that within my eyes. So
go for it.
This is my Excalibur.
Nice. You got basically that is dope. Wow. So for those of you just listening to the audio on this, she's holding up like a giant like crystal sword dagger, custom piece by the looks of it. That's super cool. It's like your own like guardian crystal.
The Mexican fire opal with a flare of rainbow in there that helped ground and bring fire into everything. Of course, with how this is fragmented, it literally looks like a lightning bolt hit it.
Super cool.
I mean, you can even see the shatter. And then of course I got 2 quartz tips, and of course this. And it was funny because when I was doing the meditating with you, I wasn't even attached to anything, whether it was YouTube or this Zoom thing. I literally just downloaded this thing right now just so I could show you guys my tools that I use during our meditation. And last but not least, the one thing that helped me ground myself is the big smoky quartz. And to compare, that is their size.
Those are quite hefty.
Yes. It takes a really hefty tool to do a hefty job, I'll tell you
Dual
that.
wielding crystals. That's what all of us should be doing. That's what the light guardian crystals are for. It's cool. What you have looks so much like a light guardian crystal too, in its own. And like literally, like the light guardian crystals, like this isn't really a spoiler. I've talked about this before. But like even these, like I refer to these as like mini Excaliburs. Like that's symbolically what they are, and it's so cool how yours is like so similar. And it's like a similar, it's like the same symbol in a different form. So both of us creating Excaliburs and stuff like that, super cool. And that I was holding, like I forgot, I realized once the broadcast began, I'm like oh whoops, I forgot to tell people, like if you have a light guardian crystal, hold on to it or something and hold on to it. And yeah, but nonetheless, for future ones, you know, it's always kind of cool to kind of like have items and talismans that you just kind of anchor in the energy with. So Susie, just kind of like in just a little bit, just tell us how the like what your thoughts were on the meditation, and then any gratitude. And I think we're gonna get close to wrapping this up after that, so go ahead.
I'll be quick.
Yeah, no problem.
The temple that I visited was the one above Peru. The one temple, which is the Lotus Temple for Lady Nada, that is a temple that I entered in. That is the temple that I visited. I went to Peru actually October of this year, because half my family actually lives there. And when I went there, I swear, I have never felt the love. Like, I mean, like when I hit the ground in Peru, I started to cry because just the love that you can feel from there. And that's where we have received information that is where the temple lays. Whether, you know, I'm guided by whoever. I have multiple guides, so I was surrounded by all my guides. So it wasn't fair to just say one person was there. Yeah. They were all there. We were all there. Everyone was there.
Yeah, oh, that's awesome.
And I felt the sensation literally start from the bottom of my feet all the way up to the top of my head. My spine cracked. It felt like my whole spine just like and lined up. And then from there on, I went from up, and then when you said bring it down, I brought it down, and then I started doing a whole full convulsion, and that was a little intense for me, and I felt my body wanting to pop, but it didn't. And I think it was because I knew exactly what I was doing. And it was funny because the last thing, and I'm getting to the last part, first off, my favorite colors are purple and green, although I surround myself with black and red.
Yeah.
When you said open your eyes and look around, and for some reason it completely slipped my mind, but my whole room is green. So I was surrounded by the healing energies. So I'm hoping, and no, I'm not hoping. It is done. The healing is done, but that doesn't mean we have to stop here. We can keep going, okay? And we can keep doing this, and we can keep pushing down this negative, and we can keep fighting this, because it's not simple, but it's not hard. Clearly, it's not hard. We just gotta do it when we feel like we need to. And I feel like we should do it a few more times. And you lead the way, Brendan, because I can be the force behind it if you want me to, but you did so well. I applaud you. We all, everyone applauds you for how well you did it, because you did exactly what you were supposed to do. We are here for the children, and they're set free. In my eyes, there's so much love everywhere. And even if we still see negative things, don't let it win. It's never gonna win, because it can't win.
Yeah, it's just us knowing where there's work to be done, etc., etc. So yeah, and again, that was kind of part of the meditation, especially the part where it was like, yo, like let's travel through time and see everything and heal everything. Like, it was really weird. I remember when I was thinking of that meditation, I'm like, wait a second, like, is it possible for me to like transcendentally with a team of people help like heal our past? Like, that was kind of the question. I'm like, how does that happen? And that's the narrative, like in some way, like at least on a personal level for some of us, you know, like there was opportunities there to kind of like, you know, like pay attention to just send love into the past. And like that's the question, like does that do anything? But at the same time, I feel it does, even if it's on a very personal level. So Susie, thank you again for joining in. I'll pass it over to you again, and just like yeah, any just like closing gratitude, if there's anything else you want to share, go for it as well. So
well, my last thing I wanted to share was, it was funny because when this all happened, right before all of this happened, I called everyone that I knew that I had some negative feeling left towards them to finally apologize for how bad I treated them, because we are all human. That's the most important thing. That's why this balance is so important. You cannot get rid of the bad without getting rid of the good. You have to have a balance. Do not banish your demons. Work with them. Have them be your power. That's what they are there for. They are there to help you, but you have to gain control of them. We all have this tremendous power within us, okay? Everyone. It doesn't matter if you're the kid on the side of the street, sitting on a bucket, hitting it with a drumstick, trying to make 50 cents so you can go get yourself a little pop or whatever, or you're that guy who's just helping out the elderly man, putting his groceries in his back car so he knows that he can get home as fast as he can without dealing with everything. Every person that is doing something positive is doing the right thing.
yeah,
My only thing
up,
is, how do we help with this whole Facebook and Twitter and this pandemic? And you're right, music, right, stories,
however we
pictures, your artwork, Chris. Keep doing that. Your style, courageous. Now, like everybody will want that style. Art, you know what I mean? And all of you guys, Curtis, like Lily, all of you guys, it's not that this didn't just happen for a reason. It happened for a purpose. And you need to believe it. And the people that believe you will help believe it. And it's not that you have to tell the truth. It's not that you have to be like, oh yeah, we're freaks and everything's all a lie. But no, we have to treat humans like children. We have to help them, ease them into the fact that this is it. This is the world. This is us. And there is no reason to be scared when all of us have this power. It's not just one. It's not one. It's not, oh, that guy right there, he's been in 5 movies. I've massaged over 3,000 people, and I have massaged plenty of celebrities. I've touched a few of them. I don't know if they were good or if they were bad, but all I know is when I was done touching them, they were happy. So I don't know if this is helping, but keep doing what we're doing. Keep coming. Keep meditating. Keep thinking up of ideas. I mean, I'm a guitar singer, so I'm gonna start writing songs. I already have songs that make sense now. Sweet. Keep it going.
That's awesome. Susie, hyping it up. Thank you so much. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing, Susie. And
of course, thank you
for being
here. Seriously, from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you. It is felt like and again, like the story we've been weaving, for those of you who've been following it, like I've been doing this for 10 years, and like over these 10 years, like again, like like just this team has just been forming and bringing people together, and again, it's that idea. It's like, are there a million people tuned into this broadcast right now? Like, yes and no. Yes, in an idea of like beyond time, if we're like thinking about it from like again a vibrational state. But my point is that even with a team of like 100 people, I am still confident in our ability to make impact, global impact, whatever impact we need. Give me like 100 badass people and we'll impact like 1,000 others. And that's kind of like the ripple effect. But it's getting to the point where like more people are starting to kind of just like connect with Paradigm Shift Central, tuning into the Waking Up with Wolf broadcast. And again, like we'll talk more about this on Waking Up with Wolf broadcast, but like that is like continuation of the story. Like every morning when we're doing those broadcasts, like it's anchoring into the same story that this whole meditation night was about. And part of what we need to do, in addition to like acts of kindness and art, is to essentially, what I'm referring to is like the chakra practice, but it's working on our virtues. And our virtues are, again, kind of like our ability to be in serenity, our ability to be of how we're speaking and communicating, our ability to be aware of how we love. It's very much kind of like this shift in consciousness of rising out of just like base impulses and intentionally kind of bringing in this balance and kind of like moving up in service. Like this is, and this is like a path, the path. It's a path of like consciousness itself, you know. So it's just one that just kind of naturally feels like, again, like it's not even so much like, hey, this is all just like my creative mind. It's like a big part of this is kind of like ancient history and ancient energy, just kind of saying like, here's a way, and then I'm aware of that way, and I'm like, okay, let's work with that. Yeah, let's work with our chakras, let's work with this badass story of like activating like the solar hero, and you know, like the what we're creating now is like this badass team of superheroes, and it's happening. I feel it, and I appreciate everybody on it. So all right, Susie, thank you again. I think Chris raised his hand, so I'm gonna let Chris just kind of say one thing, and then if anybody wants to just like literally just like a super short gratitude for everybody tuned in, we'll do that, and then we'll wrap it up. And again, I'm well aware of the fact that yes, we can stay on here and chat much longer. I want to be able to make more of a casual time for that, which actually is like very reminiscent of the old Paradigm Shift Radio days, like back when we were using a different platform and everything like that. It was more of like a call-in show and stuff like that. So tonight was actually kind of like testing the waters on us kind of moving into new frontiers of like utilizing Zoom group calls in slightly different ways. But even still, we do have the Synergy Circle this coming Thursday at 8 p.m. And again, that's going to be focused on our discussion with conscious creators and leaders, which at this point, all of us can be. And again, so that's just kind of like talking, you know, with various of us who are kind of like working on creating conscious content, media, and leaders like within our own right. So again, for those of you who are interested in joining on that, it is priority access for our leading members who are Patreon supporters. But if you're still interested, go ahead and just let me know. And again, that's for people who are kind of like thinking about creating conscious media or already involved with community involvement. But either way, feel free to just send me a message and tune in nonetheless, even if it's just your first time, so you can get a feel for it. But with that said, yes, I want to pass it to Chris. Susie, was there any last thing just before we pass it?
I love you guys, and
love you too.
Love and keep doing what you're doing. This is all we can do, and this is all how we can help, and this is what we're gonna do. It is what it is. Showing
up, doing the inner work, doing the outer work. Chris, we'll pass it over to you. Susie, thank you again.
Of course.
Chris, I clicked on your camera, and for some reason it's hold on. Chris, did you turn your camera off? What just happened there?
I think he froze.
There we go. Okay. All right, I'm trying to send it over to Chris. Chris, I'm gonna unmute you, and Susie, thank you again.
Okay, am I back now?
I think it's working now. Yeah, try it out. Go for it, Chris. You had something you just wanted to share, and then we'll do our closing gratitude and wrap it up.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, to go along with kind of like what you were talking about with like, you know, that you're like sending this, like, you know, it really is like sending this ripple effect out. Or, you know, even today I was like envisioning in my head, like, you know, it's like passing, it's like, you know, like when we illuminate, you know, it's like lighting this torch, and we're like, you know, passing the torch on, and like, you know, it's like lighting more of these torches up like all around. And I just like was like thinking about like, you know, like the idea though of like, you know, like really, if you think about it, like, you know, like that we're all kind of like going through these collective shifts, like, you know, at these different times. It's really like, you know, us becoming like, you know, more aware and perceptive to these, you know, universal, like, you know, energetic shifts and stuff like that, and really being kind of like the anchor for that energy, you know, like kind of like being the antenna, you know, to receive those energies. So then, like, you know, it's like the more that we can kind of like, you know, bring that in, then it's kind of like we're all just kind of interpreting that universal energy like for everyone. So, you know, it's kind of like we're really like meant to be the translators of like what's going on. And I don't know, I just feel like, you know, like when you really think about that, it's like, you know, like that's like our mission to do too. It's like to spread this awareness, like, you know, like that we can all tap into and access, you know, and like kind of reminding us all about that, you know, like that we're all here to anchor that, this light. And, you know, we're all doing that in all of our many ways, like, you know, that we do it, like, you know, even outside of Paradigm Shift Central, like, you know, it's like the ripple effect that all of these communities that are coming together are having. And, you know, like what Paradigm Shift Central is even inspiring, you know, even with other creators that are trying to create conscious communities, you know. And it's like, it's just so beautiful because like, you know, like you are being that too through your inspiration, through like all the content that you do. And I just want to like, you know, express my gratitude for, you know, like you offering that. So beautiful.
Thank you, man. And thank you again for what you're doing. Again, you said it, like that's the idea. Like as much as we're hanging out here on the broadcast, like this is still just such a small fractal of like the bigger story, and the bigger story is like what you're doing, what you're doing, what you're doing, what you're doing, and again, what we're doing collectively as a team. And again, even just flash forwarding to the synergy circles, part of the intention for the synergy circles is for us to like share updates on the ways we've been helping shift consciousness. So again, like direct action, online content, etc. Chris, thank you again, man. Was there anything else other than that? Because I think I believe Lily is back. Lily, give me a thumbs up. We were going around the circle if we're just giving people a chance to just share how that meditation was for them and any closing thoughts of gratitude. So we'll pass it over to you if you'd like, and just with additional closing thoughts of gratitude. It's almost 11:11 right now, so bonus points everybody here. Go ahead and take a breath together. Feel yourself like stepping through that like mirror Stargate again, right? So every time you think of 11:11 now, you can think of like kind of like that mirror of like activating and stepping through into your higher self if you want. But with that said, Chris, are you okay if I pass it over to Lily? Give me a thumbs up. Is that cool? And we'll do any closing stuff. Okay. All right, Lily, I'm gonna pass it over to you. Again, Lily, one of our Patreon supporters, a regular joiner as a leading member on other broadcasts. Lily, I'll pass it over to you. So again, just kind of like general thoughts on meditation, closing thoughts of gratitude, and we'll wrap it up in probably less than 5 minutes. Lily, go for it.
Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Perfect. You're good.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, definitely want to just thank everyone collectively for the energy. Just so grounding and so tranquil, and um I'm just filled with so much gratitude right now. Like I can't even count the many reasons. But you mentioned something about, does it, can it help heal through the past? I was actually taken on like another journey. Like I started with you guys, but then like I ended up getting taken by some guides and we did some work. And so for that, I'm completely, utterly
Cool.
grateful.
Did you basically fall asleep for a bit? Is that kind of what happened? Yeah, I
A little
literally I
bit.
literally figured that. I'm pretty sure Willow and Lily are like off doing like they fell asleep and they're doing something. So
We're doing, yeah, I
yeah,
definitely was
side
doing some
quest. Yeah.
stuff.
So that's cool. Well, welcome back, Lily. I'm glad. Do you remember where you kind of like drifted off? Like, how
Yes,
far do you remember up
yes,
to?
yes. I definitely. We don't have time tonight. Oh
That's
boy,
fine.
I could
That's
just.
fine. I just kind of meant like within the broadcast. If you remember like a certain point up to the broadcast.
Oh yeah, absolutely. When it was talking about like, I mean, it was early on that I got taken. So I got taken. It's like I got abducted. No, the full moon got me. As
Excuse
the
me.
early on, talking about like our inner child, and then the person who was talking to us, was our mother. And anyone who knows my story knows that my mother was murdered when I was like 3.5, 4 years old. And so um at that point, things things kind of turned. There was more of my ancestors, and they're just like, we need to show you this. And I'm trying to keep it short because I don't want
We'll
to
have to save
get
some of it
started.
for another time. I mean, that could even
I'm also kind of like, how do I put that in words
true
right
enough,
now?
right? Like, yeah, you're right. Like it like
Ah,
sit with it, journal, draw a picture. Were you awake during the end when we were doing like shooting energy beams on the earth? Were you awake for that?
yes,
Yeah, Lily,
yes,
if you feel called to like
yes.
draw some sort of visual representation of that, like your art, I feel would go with a vision of that. I was putting out that message.
Absolutely.
Please feel free. That'd be really cool.
Oh,
I'd
that's
be happy
so
to
cool
share
you
that.
said that, because I really I was inspired to do a piece from it when we
Cool.
were
There you go.
doing
Yeah.
that. So
Perfect. All right, it's already done then. So cool.
it's
There you go.
already
Sweet.
done.
All right, beautiful, Lily. Thank you again, just for like
Thank you.
for adding your energy, and again for like sharing and for everybody here, I want to like really just like emphasize and communicate in that way of just like thank you for like adding your energy. You added like unique, a unique like ingredient to this like cosmic mandala that we created here together. And that's the thing from this meditation, like the experience, the benefit of it wasn't just the story and everything like that. Like again, it's like the actual experience itself has brought us closer together as a community. And then the story itself is, where do we go next? And so again, where we go next from here, literally like broadcast tomorrow morning, waking up with Wolf. I'm thinking about again, it really just comes down to like I'm already like working like a lot during the day, so I'm pretty busy and my energy is only so much, but I'm feeling called to start doing some waking up at Wolf evening editions, which would be a different type of like meditation and reflection. So stay tuned for that. I'm still brainstorming it. But nonetheless, like, yeah, for everybody here, if you want to like, continue to be involved with the story, like, yeah, like do the simple things, like go to Paradigm Shift Central, subscribe to my YouTube, my Instagram, Mystic Spider-Man on Instagram, Mystic Spider-Man on TikTok, and yeah, just stay connected. Send me a DM afterwards. If you listen to this broadcast all the way through, even including the discussion part at the end of the bonus, go ahead, send me a DM, let me know, and just go ahead and please feel free to send me a message of gratitude, and I can share that to the stories of like how the meditation was for you. But again, it was. I'm really glad that I made that then so that we could share it now, and even still, that whole broadcast is timeless. So if you I'll make sure I'll add it to the show notes, but I'll send a link just to the original version of this so you guys can share that opposed to just this version, which is a full extra, but you could share for this version too, either or. But yeah, with that said, we're gonna wrap this up. I did just want to be able to give people a chance just to be like really just a short message of gratitude, and then we'll just finish it off with some wolf howls, and we'll call it a night. And again, happy full moon, everyone. Like, oh my goodness, what a powerful full moon we are in right now. And again, it comes from literally us like making the most of it, showing up, doing this broadcast, coming together as a team, moving forward with intention, and like working on our virtues, working on like again like the inner work, the nurturing of the physical, the mental, the spiritual, all that. So it's very exciting. I'm very grateful to have everybody here as a team to be able to do it. So Lily, I wanted to just be able to pass over to you. Any closing gratitude for everybody tuned in?
I was playing with the moon.
Right?
Yes,
Yeah, we'll do that.
I was
Little
like,
energy ball there.
it's
Yeah.
on my finger,
Yeah.
it's in my hand.
Those make great photos.
Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, I love everybody. I have so much gratitude. I'm in a great space.
Beautiful. Awesome. Thank you, Lily. Thank you again for joining.
I'll express it better through my art.
You express it plenty through your smile, so thank you again, Lily.
Thank you.
We'll pass it over. Who wants to just raise your hand if you just want to go next? Curtis, we'll pass it over to you. Curtis, I'm just gonna unmute you, and when hold on one second here. I just have to open my button here. All right, Curtis, go ahead. Passing the talking stick over to you. Any closing thoughts and gratitude?
All right. So I want to let everyone know that this is just like, with this whole quarantine thing and the jobs, people losing their jobs, helps us realize what our real job is as humans, and our real what money is, and or you want to call money, but it's more of an exchange of energy, and that I think of it as just energy becoming more vibrant, and that's the whole point of humanity, and that's what the whole point of God bringing us here. I just want everyone to know that don't worry about anything. If you're stuck in a rut, just keep on going, believing in God and believing in harmony, and you will definitely reap what you sow.
Cool, man. Awesome, dude. Thank you, man. And yeah, like we were sowing some good seeds today. I would definitely say so. I love the idea of like God and stuff again was very prevalent in this story, even with like the idea it's like that was when I first wrote this way back in November. I'm like, yo, like how trippy would that be if you're like literally going through this story where you like meet God, but God's a kid and he takes you through this like trans-dimensional trip through your mind. I'm like, yo, that story fascinated me. So, and then at the end there's kind of like a little twist where the kid is like, oh, like I think I hear my parents calling. But then if you're just like, wait, what? Like that kid was God? Who's God's parents, man? Like talking about some higher dimensional stuff there. Anyways, Curtis, thank you again, man. Thank you for being a pillar, being a again inspired with the team here. So thank you, Curtis. All right.
Cool.
Well, and again, for you guys here, if you guys want to just leave your comments in the YouTube chat, if you can jump over there. If you can't, drop them in this chat. Just make sure that everyone here, if you guys want to connect. So for those of you in the Zoom call, if you want to leave your IG channels, I'll let you guys check those at the end. But I'll tag you guys. Just send me a DM. I want to make sure if you want your links in the show notes, leave them in the Zoom chat right now. But nonetheless, we'll pass it around. So we still have, I guess, Chris hadn't done his closing, and Susie and Courageous. Just put a finger up for whoever wants to go next, and we'll just pass it to you. Just closing thoughts real quick. Chris, did you want to go? I'm not. Chris, go ahead. I'm just gonna pass it over to you. Just closing thoughts of gratitude, and let me just unmute you. You're good.
Yeah, I feel like there's not much need to say any more else. Like
Yeah.
I think that, you know, like a lot of gratitude and love has been expressed, and you know, like we need to continue to show up, like, you know, each and every single day, embodying all that we are, and you know, like that starts with like, you know, every day, like, you know, we have every moment we like have a new opportunity to step into like our full power, and to kind of retain that momentum. And
Yeah. Cool, man. Awesome. Thank you, Chris. Perfect. And from there, again, we'll pass it to everyone. And just a reminder for those of you in the Zoom call, if you guys want to leave your IGs in the chat when you get a chance. Susie, Courageous, if one of you wants to just give me a thumbs up if either of you want to go next. Susie, we'll pass it over to you. Closing thoughts. Go ahead. Oh, I thought I unmuted you. 1 second. Now you're good. Go for it.
All right. My closing thoughts is just go out and love everybody. And when you start seeing people freaking out, the best thing to do is to just try to calm them down, because they don't know what's going on. So have that unconditional love and that compassion. The compassion, that's most important. Understand that if someone's yelling at you or fighting with you or trying to go at you, step back, walk away, leave it alone. Just hope that they're good. And I hope that, you know, we can make this thing work. The faster we work, faster we can get this done.
Cool. All right. Awesome. Thank you, Susie. Definitely. Again, just going back to like that's like a huge part of why we do these meditations. Again, is just kind of like practice co-regulating as a team, and in the same way, we can kind of like create this field where it's like we're dropping into a shared space. Like individually, we can also. That's one of our superpowers, so to speak, is kind of like creating like fields of calmness that other people can be in. And so if like someone's feeling a bit stressed out, we can help them calm down. We can help their nervous system calm down. So and we do that by like helping teach ourselves how to do that first. So Susie, thank you again. All the little things make the big difference. Courageous Owl, give me a thumbs up. You're good. I'll pass it over to you. Okay, cool. All right, go ahead. Closing thoughts, dude.
All right, so I have two statements to say. First off is it's not being out of balance, it's being balanced out. And the second one is that you are it. That's it. That's all you need to know.
Cool, man. That's it. That's a perfect way to end it. And you are it, and the show is it, and the experience is it, and the now is it, and the love is it, and you are the love. So beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, so with that said, I think we're ready to wrap this up. I guess Willow fell asleep, so shout out to Willow as well. Thank you, Willow, for joining. And with that said, we'll just segue this. Again, for those of you who are in the Zoom call, make sure you leave your IGs in the chat. I'll add those into the YouTube. For those of you listening, please feel free to refresh the YouTube video if you're watching this live, and get the show notes for them. If not later today, you can do it another time as well. But yeah, from here on, just inviting people to tune in again for our next broadcast, Synergy Circle, which is going to be on April 9th. And that'll be at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And again, priority for leading members. So if you're interested in the Patreon, go ahead and check that out. If you're still interested in just like kind of like scoping out the Synergy Circles and future broadcasts, send me a message. And again, the priority here is about building the team. And so again, I appreciate everybody just like being on the team and being on the team in a variety of ways. So again, like, you are, like, if you're listening to this, if you're in the YouTube chat, if you're tuned in, if you're here, there, like, thank you for being a part of the team wherever you are. If you're leaving a comment on this in the future, thank you for being here where you are. So yeah, overall, just kind of like ending it off here. If everybody here wants to just take like a couple more breaths together, I just feel that would be appropriate. Just kind of bring a close to this circle, this sacred space. So as we just breathe here, just allowing ourselves to create our own individual conclusion for this practice as we get ready to continue to walk forward from here with intention and purpose and very heart-centered approach. So beautiful job, everyone. Very like excited about what we're moving into, and also very proud of what we were able to create as an experience together today. So thank you everyone for sharing that. It was very special to me. It meant a lot. So thank you. It all does. So go ahead, just take one more breath here if you want. You are that inner light guardian. Go back, play with that memory, go back, play with that story, think about when you fall asleep, and yeah, really excited what comes next. So thank you again, everyone. Reminder, if you guys dig this show and you want to help support future broadcasts, be sure to check out the Patreon and learn about how you can support there. You can also check out the item shop. I'm still in the process of re-updating that, but that is through the main website. You can get your own Light Guardian Crystal, Excalibur, like holographic Excalibur thing. And yeah, you can also learn more about past broadcasts, future broadcasts, joining as a leading member, and connecting to our team chat. So if anybody here, if you're also connecting to my Instagram, my YouTube, you're welcome to connect into our public team chat, which is again also available through the main website. And with that said, you have everything you need to stay connected, and we'll wrap up the broadcast. For those of you in the Zoom call, we're gonna just like do the outro music, and then if you guys want to stick around just for a minute, I'll make sure I get the notes, and then we'll head out from there and call it a night. So thank you again, everyone, for joining in. I want to just see if I can invite everybody here to make some noise and send some love. If I can unmute everyone at once, I think that's an option. Let me just, okay, yeah, I can do this. All right, so finishing off the episode as I get ready to transition into the closing music, which I am doing right now at this second. Follow my lead, everyone. All right, outro music is starting to play. So for everybody here, thank you again. Go ahead, make some noise, send some love. Go.
Yay!
Beautiful. Send some love. Go ahead. Just keep sending some love for a bit. We love you too. Yeah, thank you so much. Beautiful. All right. All right. Awesome job, team. Thank you again to Danny Leonardo, whose music is featured at the beginning and end of this broadcast. Be sure to check out more of Danny's work in the YouTube info. Thank you, Danny.